Crash, thank you so much for the sub. Welcome. Thank you so much for subbing. Good evening. We will get started very quickly. I'm waiting for my ad break to count down 30 seconds on twitch.tv, and then I will jump into the room. And we will... Hey, how are you? Hello to the YouTubes as well. I'm trying something different with the chat today. And let me turn my theme song down. Trying something different with the chat today. You'll see it when we pop. Vtubing situation is insane. Yeah, it is. I decided to... Here, let me go ahead and get my regular BGM on. All right, there we go. We'll go ahead and pop into my lair here. We'll pop into my mansion. Good evening, everyone. I am happy to have you here today. Welcome, if you have not been here before, or if you're a long-time visitor. Welcome to Vampire Mansion. This is my home. It has been a spicy month. I was originally going to do a speech or a stream today about D&D because I wanted to just do like a D&D like a D&D retrospective kind of thing. I've been planning it for a couple of months and I didn't have time to prep it because I was trying to do music, and then I did the music and it was like mid, but I still did it, get it out of my system, and then I was gonna do it this week, and it was like a little bit more of a like a prep thing. Like I like to do like a prepped just chatting. Like I'd like to have slides and do a lot of, but then this week, my new chat twit widget is working, by the way. Is that great? I finally got a combined chat widget. Is that nice? I finally picked up a combined chat widget, which is nice. Now you can see everybody. If you're on YouTube or Twitch, you can still see you all in the chat. So wonderful to have you. Yeah, new chat looks very nice, very clear. Yeah. This is a hookup I got from Nutty. Nutty is a good stream tech person to follow, and apparently this used to be Patreon only, but eventually they just deleted it. YouTube people are touching you. Yeah, now y'all are in the same place. Well, it was a couple weeks ago. Somebody said segregated chat. That's crazy. And I said, well, there's a technical solution to get the merged chat, but I don't know what it is. So I gotta do some digging. So I asked around some of my good stream buddies and said, hey, how do I merge the chats so I don't have to have this double chat window situation? In my teacher room, it still has the double chat window situation. I'll probably leave it alone because that's actually worked into the overlay. But in this room, I wanted the clean combo chat. So now I got the nice clean chat. So hi to Twitch, hi to YouTube. Thank you guys for being here today. But believe it or not, my goblet on the table was Diet Coke. There's no blood in my goblet today. It's Diet Coke. I'm trying. It's not Gamersupps. It could be Gamersupps. Oh, we have so much to talk about. If it's your first time here, you may not know that I changed the picture in my background. It is typically a picture of me. But it's a picture, whatever the topic is about now, so I can rotate that picture a little bit. And today I'm talking about Vtubing, so I thought I would put these lovely ladies' graduation picture up. I just think Mume drew that. That's Mume's art. It's not my art. She's also in the thumbnail, so I just think they're so cute, and congratulations to these ladies. I do believe that Garagura is doing a unarchived right now. She was originally going to start at 7:30 and it got pushed back. So if you're here, I hope you're also got that tab open. I don't know. I wasn't going to remove my stream because I had already planned on doing a stream today. And then it just kind of became a, hey, let's just chat about stuff kind of stream, rather than like the plan that I originally had to go over, because it's been a week and things don't stop happening. Okay, things don't stop happening. This week has been so insane. It's Tuesday. I thought it's on the title of my Twitch. It's Tuesday. Today is Tuesday. But Saturday I was out. I left the house. I didn't stream. I went to a concert. Sunday I had a very, very short stream. I didn't have time for a long one because I was kind of playing Final Fantasy, and then I had my piano lesson, which took over the time, and I was like, I'm gonna do a long stream on Tuesday. And I was gonna stick to the topic which I was gonna talk about, and then there were so many things happening that I decided to just like, hey, do you guys want to talk about VTubing today? Do you want to talk about like what's going on with VTubing? April is cursed. You know what's funny? I don't think Mercury is in retrograde. I think that's not actually, is Mercury? I think it's not. I always look. Is Mercury in retrograde right now? No, not till July. Not till July. It's not over till July. I don't know. I'm wondering if we should take topics in chronological or reverse chronological order. I have Shion in my thumbnail. Shion graduated. But they're... So Mume and Gura both graduating. I feel like the vibes around that are like melancholy, but there's no drama. It's just kind of... Okay, I'm just gonna preface everything that happened like over these last 2 weeks. Does it kind of feel in total like the end of an era to anybody else but me? Does it kind of feel like there's a change in the wind about everything that's been happening in the VTuber scene from like now to... Now, I think all of the changes that have happened in VTubing have been very gradual, but I feel like a lot of things kind of come to an head. Listen, my backstory of VTubing was, and Gura is like the last of the dinosaurs going, yeah, it's a sad way, because it's a sad way because maybe we should be serious. I find that shit happens in real life. You know, it depends. Hallmark movies are totally unrealistic. Nothing the thing that happens in Hallmark movies happen in real life. I don't know if they make... Let's be honest, Ellen. They don't make romance movies anymore. When's the last time you saw a romance movie that was like not made for TV or for Netflix? When's the last time you saw a romance that wasn't made for Netflix? A Hot Frosty's last romance movie made ever. The official Mario chessboard pieces are queens or bishops? Oh, yeah, that makes sense. I guess. They don't want to imply a romantic relationship between Mario and Peach without Bowser getting involved? Is that the deal? Is that the deal? When Hugh Grant was young? Yeah, exactly. Like Love Actually, right? Like that's the kind of movie that they used to make. They used to make movies like that all the time. Mario refuses to compete Luigi is the same species as his brother? Well, that's strange. I'm pretty sure they're the same species. Luigi's secretly a ghost. You can only betray those which he is part of. He became that which he hated. Truly, the moment of VTube was a product of COVID, and now it's just part of a culture. That's a really, really, really good point. For some reason, YouTube chat lags more than YouTube chat on screen, so that's very interesting. My streamer bot chat is catching up with you though. Yeah, romance and YA. I get that. That makes a lot of sense. I feel like. But anyway, welcome to the stream. Thank you for being here. I'm gonna tell you guys my backstory with like becoming a VTuber, so that if you haven't been here before, you'll understand like my journey. I was originally a DM for a Dungeons and Dragons campaign that was like in person, right? And a good friend of mine, Patware, might be by the stream later. I won't, I think Patware's still gaming, but, maybe come by the stream later. I think he's playing Golden Idol, which I do not want to watch because I don't want to get spoiled because it's like a puzzle game. But linked some clips from, and this is gonna tell you everything you need to know about me. Hachima was the first VTuber that I ever saw. Linked some clips from Hachima. And I was like, what is going on in this? What is happening? Why is this anime girl so aggro? Why is she mad? Like, and he was like, well, it's like a long story. You gotta watch these clips, but don't worry, they're like translated for you. I was like, oh, all right, okay. And I feel to this day that like Patware had fallen into the VTuber rabbit hole, and that was a surgical strike on me because I'm a weirdo to be like, you should watch Hachima. And like, you're right. I should watch Hachima. That's what I should do. So I saw like, clips before like Ian debuted, right? From like Hachima and Pekora. And I was like, they seem like fun. And then HoloLive did the EN debut during COVID, right? I think it was still 2020 when they did, when Gura debuted. And I remember we were all kind of excited at that point because like there hadn't been like a big EN group at that time. And so I'm kind of like rabbit hole memories at this point. And basically said like, Suicide for Buki on the same day? Oh my god, that's terrific. Man. you fell in through Fubuki and Suicide? That's amazing. I love hearing how people find this subculture. It's always such a good, like, it's cheerful to talk about good memories, especially when things are like kind of down. So yeah, we were like, okay, we're gonna watch the HoloLive debut, and like I think Mori Calliope was first, and her debut was the most scuff I've ever seen. Like she had like a fog machine thing, and it was like running at like 3 frames a second, and but then so the one that I really liked the best of that group was Ame. Ame was my girl of choice from EN, the original EN myth, because I like how technical she was, and I really like when people put like a lot of their technical skills into the so yeah, Pekora War Crime compilation. Yes, Pekora War Crime compilation is Pekora is so damn funny. If I'm ever really like sad, if I'm ever down and I just feel like I need to laugh, I look at the cute, sexy robots Pekora fan art. Do you know the one I'm talking about? Because I have it saved. So it's hang on, I'll bring it up because I have an image queued up on my screen. So I'll bring it up. I'll bring up the fan art that I'm talking about because. Oh, actually, let me bring up the first thing I'm gonna do, and then I'll bring up the Pekora image. This is what. I also am tasting candy today, guys, because I need candy to get through the day. Okay, so I went to I was into Wawa. I went to Wawa and I picked up the not Kiwawa, a different person. The strawberry peanut butter and jelly, grape peanut butter and jelly Reese's cups. I didn't photograph the actual ones on my desk, but that's what they are. That's what they are. Hi Twitch, Capsule and Wicked or Fire. Yeah, I think a lot of folks here are fans of Sins, as we say. I like Bibbidi Bobbidi. Good old song. Yeah. So I have in my memes folder, I have that picture of Pekora. I'm gonna pull it out real quick just because every time I look at it, I laugh. It's a picture. I just love it so much. She's what I love about this picture is that she's like, I'm gonna throw this bomb at these guys and it's gonna blow them up. And then her hair is stuck to the bomb. It's a sticky bomb, and her hair is stuck to the bomb. So like the whole joke, as you can imagine, she's gonna I'm gonna get him, and you know it's gonna happen. The picture cracks me up. I love this picture so much. Oh, Pekora War Crime. I love this picture so much. This is cute, sexy robots. I didn't remove the watermark, so if you want to follow their Patreon. But yeah, this picture cracks me up every time. Gonna get him. She's gonna get him. Pekora. She's so funny. My first contact was Pekora. It was Gura demolishing a rhythm game. She's one of us, but shallow montage made me skeptical. No, I feel you. I get that. That makes a lot of sense to me. Because like Pekora works the same way Donald Duck does. Yeah, Pekora is like she's got a really, really, really good like comedy chops where she'll always get her comeuppance, Like, she'll get arrogant. She's like, I'm gonna defeat these children. And then she's like a villain. I love that she's so funny. And Hachima is so funny. Like, they're just really good at making jokes on streams. And I really liked all of them. I liked Ame because she was very clever technical wise, and I think Gura is a great singer. Kiara's dancing is incredible, and just her infectious love for like the whole fandom, and Callie's whole journey was really interesting to watch. Like and then Ina, she's a sweetie. All her art is amazing. Did you know she actually did Marine's latest video? Ina did some of the animation in that. I don't know what part of it, but I heard that she did. And Marine's video, her latest video, is like incredible. The animation is so good. It's like so retro, and then they put like some retro filters over it. Oh my god, I'm so obsessed with like this VTubing stuff. But I feel like there's a difference between people who fell into VTubing through, I want to say, like YouTube and through HoloLive and maybe like through Japanese VTubers, versus people who kind of fell into VTubing through Vshojo on Twitch. And I've noticed like there's kind of a divide there, because I didn't really fall into like that side of it until I started streaming on Twitch, and then realized, oh, there's also VTubers on Twitch, because I was streaming on Twitch with my old avatar. So about 2000, COVID hit, we were doing our D&D game in person, and couldn't anymore. We couldn't meet up anymore because COVID. We were driving across the city, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna just stream on my own channel. I'll just stream some games, and I'm gonna start using an avatar because this VTubing shit looks kind of fun. Looks really fun. I have a degree in animation. I can draw a little. I have not drawn anything you see in this picture. Nothing in this picture was drawn by me. But at the time, I thought, you know, I'll give it a shot. I'll draw my own avatar and I'll do a little stream. And it was fun. I enjoyed doing it. I enjoyed like streaming games. And the problem is that I have like this wealth of like ideas of what streams I want to do. So it just kind of became, I'm going to stream this, I'm going to stream that. And then eventually I got to the point where it's like, I don't really like this homemade avatar. I'm going to upgrade and get like a fancier one. So I hired a designer and artist and kind of put together this whole like deal and re-debuted in October of 2023 now, which when I first started VTubing, I did not do like a debut, but I did a little debut for this avatar. So, you know, I have debuted now. I've gotten through the experience. And that's kind of where I sit today. But I wouldn't have gotten that deep into it if not for, I think, HoloMyth. But I think there's a lot of folks who discovered VTubing more through the Twitch side of things. And the people who discovered more through the Twitch side of things, like, kind of are interested, like, in the girls at Vshojo. And, like, it's not that I haven't watched their stuff. I absolutely have watched their stuff. But it wasn't, like, my introduction to VTubing. So when, like Sinder, let's just start with that. Like, I have rated Sinder. Like, I saw Sinder at TwitchCon. I'm not going to say, like, I know her or anything. Like, I've watched her streams a couple of times. I didn't know that much about her content. But anytime I would tune in, it was kind of, like, chatting, talking to fans. And I know that she got her start in ASMR. And I know that, like, a lot of people get their start at ASMR. I don't know how to do ASMR. I've made jokes about doing it, but I don't actually know how to do ASMR. I don't have the microphone for it. Maybe one day I'll get a fancy microphone, I don't know, but maybe I have to, you know, practice my vocal tricks or something. I don't know. It's a little intimidating, right? But I think the situation, and if you're here like completely from nowhere, let me start by saying, like, it came out on Saturday, and I was not at my keyboard. I was outside. I was at the Nick Cave concert. But, you know, like I said, I was at a goth concert, all right? When you're on Twitch, you enjoy Bao, Vidal, Neuro. Yeah. Neuro is fun. I like Neuro. Yeah, I was at the Nick Cave concert on Saturday. So I was out doing goth things. Yeah. So I found out about all this stuff dropping, and like Google Docs were flying across the screen, and I was like, what happened? What is going on? And so to make a long story short, it feels like what happened with Sinder was there's an artist, Nano, who does a lot of really good VTuber models and does like waifu cups and stuff for people, right? And Sinder was kind of trying to basically edge other people out of using this particular artist. Google Doc. Yes, I saw that Google Doc meme with, hang on, I think I saved that. Oh my God. I think I saved that meme. No joke. This is a situation where, like, I'm a very irreverent person who makes a lot of dark jokes about stuff. And if you've been to my channel at all, or if you haven't been to my channel at all, you know that I'm one of those people that will make like a very dark joke I talked about this on Sunday a little bit during my stream, but like, one of the reasons I'm like this is because I use humor to deflect when serious things are happening. I'm like a Deadpool, right? like he's one of my heroes. That's not even a joke. Like, I have so much Deadpool merch in my house. Like, I'm like that, right? No, sorry, I'm trying to find the image. And like, did I save it in the right folder? Now that I've saved it, did I save it in the right folder? Like, I'm like a Deadpool. I'm that way, right? Like, I'll be, oh, I made a joke about something that maybe is serious and is not funny to a lot of people, but I can't fucking help myself. I will just say the rude thing, and then I'll regret it a second later. But like, I wonder I vibe with your humor. It's, yeah, it's just the image that got saved again. Google Donkey. Oh god, it's so cruel. It's so mean. But it's funny. I can't help it. Somebody docs with not a lot of credibility. So what happened with this Google Doc was that it was basically DMs from Discord that had been censored and edited that covered like names and stuff in there. But they covered names and stuff in there, but basically it was Cinder's manager talking to. It's not gonna go well with the wolf mom. Oh my god. Basically Cinder's manager talking to this artist, talking to Nano. Nano's a great artist, by the way. I don't want to say this artist like it's like a stranger, but like Nano's a really good artist. So they've done a lot of work for like manager boyfriends. Yes, manager boyfriends. Manager boyfriend partner in crime was doing all this stuff to basically, I'm just gonna say, gaslight and manipulate this person. Like, gaslight and manipulate Nano into trying to be exclusive, but like the language used is very weasel wordy. It's very dark. Like, oh, we're just trying to, you know, I could bring the doc up on the screen, but I feel like a lot of people have read it by now, and know most of the details. I don't want to be like, I'm gonna nitpick over this doc, but like literally what happened was, all the people involved in this started coming out one by one. So you've got Bao involved. You've got Shy Lily had a statement about it. And it turns out that Silverveil was one of the people that was like involved. And then there was Spite, who was another VTuber who's a Cerberus, and like there was an overlap between her design and Cinder's design. And she had like a lot of receipts that like that basically said that like, well, technically, yeah, Spite just existed, Lamo. Well, Spite didn't do anything wrong. The only thing that Spite did was, like, apparently there was overlap between the designs between her and Sinder, and then Sinder was like, I want to have similar stuff to her, and they got into, like, a big, yeah, they basically, thank you for subbing, thank you. I did not realize that, I know it can be very controversial if like a VTuber's design is too similar to another VTuber's design. And that's something that like as a VTuber you have to be really aware of, like, oops, but I don't think that like overlapping on the same animal or anything is necessarily the end of the world, because at the end of the day, there's going to be other people who have the similar, they're werewolves, demon dogs. There's like a lot of different versions of that. Like, I have a vampire theme. Mine's a little bit different. My outfit is different from everybody else's, but like there's tons of people who do vampires. There's tons of people who do spiders. There's all kinds of different things that you can have to have a theme. So the question is just like, is your design unique? And what happened, I think, with Spite was that every time she would put out a new design, there would be an overlap. Like Cinder would come out with a very similar design, which is very strange. And Cinder insists it's all a coincidence, but if you look at the timeline, it's like, are you really sure that it's a coincidence, or did they kind of copy from the same design? And like, that's something that I want to be aware of too, because like, say I wanted to do a workout outfit, it would be partially inspired by the fact that Kiara has a workout outfit that looks really, really cute and that I really like. And partially inspired by the fact that I actually used to do that kind of fucking aerobics shit. I'm not even lying. Like with the leotard and everything, because I'm an old person. But but like that outfit is so cute, right? So if I want to do an outfit, it wouldn't look exactly like hers. It would be different, but like it would be purple probably because that's my color. But like that's the kind of thing I'm thinking. Like if you want to have a similar theme, you want to have a similar idea, like you have to put your own spin on it and make it unique, or else it kind of feels like you're just copy pasting somebody else's idea. And that's really challenging if like somebody's ideas came out really similar to yours. It's like you made A Bug's Life and they made ants. You know? Like right? And who made ants and who made A Bug's Life? You know, like you were just sorry, it was the animation industry joke, right? That happens all the time with movies, though. In fact, we've talked about it here on this stream previously because we talked about Gem and the Holograms versus Barbie and the Rockers, and the fact that like Gem and the Holograms got leaked, and so they were like, "Quick, let's make a rock and roll Barbie," and then they released the rock and roll Barbie before the Gem and the Holograms came out, and it was a whole scandal. But that kind of shit happens all the time. So it's similar to like that. Like it's like nothing new under the sun, including people copying other people's ideas. That's not even new either. So, like, and I think it's all Jeffrey Katzenberg's fault. I mean, yeah, let's just go with that. Let's just say it's all Jeffrey Katzenberg's fault. I mean, the reason I rebranded to a vampire was because of Esper Noir, who's not even around anymore. So I guess I win. Just kidding. Just kidding. Don't cancel me. He's around. He's just not Vesper anymore. I'm an engineer and you could write an essay on the history of people independently discovering the same physical principles. Yeah. So sometimes it's really hard to tell like who copied who. But I do think that the document about Sinder copying Spite's stuff was pretty damning. Even though she said it wasn't necessarily true. And then Sinder posted her apology. And that, I think, has been...
That's not gonna go over well with the woke mob.
Yeah. It has been memed considerably. In fact, Rima posted a ukulele gif. And I laugh at the stuff because I have a dark sense of humor. I know that people are pretty pissed off and pretty mad, and like a lot of people did not think that kind of shit is funny. Because yeah. I read her apology all the way through, and like most people, I did not think it was a very convincing apology. I don't think she necessarily took the accountability that she should have taken for the things that she was accused of. And I think that there's some holes in her story, like some inconsistencies, some gaps, like, oh, I didn't know my manager was saying this, but then later on she'll say, and they had the best of intentions. Like, did you not know? Or did you, it's generous to call it an apology. Yeah, I know it's not a very good document. I think most of us agree that it's just not what it needs to be to apologize for the behavior that was done. But yeah, to Lon's point, like, it's a bummer. Because if you were a big fan of hers and didn't know about this, and like I saw her at TwitchCon and she was interacting with fans, I didn't speak to her or anything, but I mean I have seen her in person at TwitchCon. She was interacting with fans, and like she seemed like a perfectly sweet person, right? Like she didn't seem like, you know, she was doing anything bad. But there's a lot of folks like in a way, like, I don't know how to be the kind of streamer that Sinder or that Bao or whatever is, where they kind of just chat a lot with chat and don't show up with like prepared topics, or, you know, like me, I like to have slides. I'm like really over prepared most of the time. And I think there's a lot of streamers out there that are really, really good at just like having super friendly banter with people, and like I envy that skill personally. Like I don't know, so I enjoyed her chat interactions like when I was watching her streams, but I don't believe her apology. There is one part of it that I haven't seen anybody call out that I kind of want to talk a little bit about, because there is the one part of it. Well, that's a good point, Lana, and I think I want to talk about that like after I talk about the other thing I'm talking about, which is there's one part of it where she says like there's a little bit of he said, she said, where it comes to like her boyfriend and everything. And there is how to put it? I sympathize with the difficulty of the position that Sinder was in when she decided to rebrand as a VTuber, and I'll tell you why. Because if you are out there as a young person And I, like, knowing her history, she was a young person when she started doing this stuff. Like, I'm not a young person. I'm 424 going on 425. So you're here for the hag, stay for the hag. But I'm not a young person, but I've been a young person a long time ago. I know what it's like. I think it's been a while, but joking and lore aside. When I was younger, when I was the age that she was when she started doing this stuff, it's very difficult to have the necessary emotional maturity to set boundaries with people, especially when you are doing content that I would not be strong enough to do, like, I don't do GFE, okay? Like what they call, like, girlfriend experience. Like, I don't know, I'm not strong enough. But I think it would be very difficult. I can imagine it being very difficult to set appropriate boundaries with your fans under those circumstances, especially if you're young, if you're just breaking in, if people think being on the old end on the internet is like 30. Yeah, I know exactly. That's like, oh my God, you're over the hill. That's crazy how old you are. Yeah, so I think setting appropriate boundaries with your fans / customers / the people you're working with, your manager, boyfriend, all that confusing, that's gonna be really, really confusing for someone. And I can see where, yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying, Mason. I do not think for 1 second that she did not know that he was doing this stuff, because how would you not know? Like, how would you not know that people had, oh, really? Did they cancel a model? Like, she was in Discords with these other VTubers when they were talking about things that were happening. There's no way she didn't know. Like, that's the part of the apology that I think is bullshit. That I think is just wrong. And it just seems like she's deflecting. But I do think that it would be difficult to set appropriate emotional boundaries. Yes. If you're hard to praise go over your head, the first place is more difficult when you're young. Yeah. So I don't think that necessarily that I would linger too much on, like, that part of it. I feel that, like, that part of it is not my business. Like, not my business, like, who she was dating with or flirting with or whatever. Like, that's just no. But the part that was, and I mean, I think that It's Just Business is going to become a meme now, like, because not only did she say it, like, Matara just said it on her stream too, but for a totally different reason, which we'll get into. We'll talk about Matara real quick. It won't be a long talk there, but, like, I want to talk about Matara. But, like, the part where she's like, well, it's just business, and also, like, I didn't really know my manager was doing it, but also she did know. She had to have known, because she was talking to those other VTubers at the time, so it just seems like so. Yeah. Enough credibility showing that hard to think that what she said is true. She obviously, yeah, that's what I'm saying. She obviously knew. I do want a kind of apology would have been accepted. Yeah, that's a tough one too. Like, what kind of apology would be accepted? Honestly, I think you have to reach out in person to anybody you harmed and take full responsibility. I think it's the only thing you can do. I think a public apology, a public YouTuber apology is tough. It's a tough one. And you know, it's a cliche at this point. We talked on my Discord. By the way, if you're not on my Discord, I have a Discord. I now have a website. So you could go to countesslita.com. I made this yesterday. And you can click on all my links. So if you want to follow me, you can. If you want to join the Discord, you can. The whole reason I decided to do this stream today and chat this way is because we had such a conversation on the Discord about it, and I think it was KOC who said something like, is this the first YouTuber apology from a VTuber? And I was like, not even close, because there's been so many YouTuber VTuber apologies, and some of them have been, yeah, that's what I think too, Lon. I think she should have talked to the people personally. I don't think I feel like a document is more about face saving, and I don't have PR Prof on today. I know PR Prof knows more about the shit than I do, but I think she should have said, like, to them personally and apologized. Yes, important part. People like Bao saying she made right with me. Yeah, because you want to have the people vouch, like, hey, I fucked this up. Otherwise, you're never coming back. because you can't, you burned the bridges. This is sexist and ageist, but I'm gonna be that guy. I feel like we figured out a society what goes wrong when we drown young men. We didn't figure it out for women yet. That's not sexist or ageist. I don't think that's sexist or ageist. I think you're completely right. I think you're completely right. It's not the challenge of becoming a person in showbiz. Okay? It's especially as a young woman. And VTubing is showbiz. And especially if you're doing personal performances like Sinder was, because she was doing stuff in public as well. Like, she was also doing cosplay. She looked dope in the cosplay. Like, I mean, it was bang on her character. Like, she looked great. But if you're doing that kind of stuff and you're doing public appearances and you're a young person, a young woman, whatever, it's showbiz. It's just entertainment biz. And the thing about women in show business is they tend to start young, right? Because most of the good roles are for young women, because you want to have them be like young and pretty and sexy. And even as a VTuber, like, VTubing, I think, has opened up a lot of like avenues for people. I don't even want to say like attractive versus not attractive, because I'm a cosplayer. Like, I don't, but I still want to have to like micromanage my appearance every time I put the fucking stream on. Right? Like, I just want to turn the stream on, man. So that's why I swapped out. But like, I don't want to say attractive versus unattractive, although I am older, which I've said, you know, I've been realistic about that. But like, fucking, like, to be fair, you were considered attractive, right? Listen, I have met a lot of VTubers in person. For the most part, they're pretty hot. Like, for the most part, VTubers are pretty attractive people. They just, you know, we don't put our faces out there as much. But for the most part, I mean, I've met Shy Lily. Like, I've seen a lot. Yeah, I've met a lot of other people who are in the indie scene. They're good-looking people. It's not, you know. Whenever you say you're hot as our friend, you get the hands up like a motherfucker. Right? Well, sometimes we have self-esteem issues too, and we don't see ourselves as attractive as other people see us, and that's always the factor that we walk into, right? And I'm not even here to like humble brag about like looking a certain way or whatever, but yeah, it's just that I don't think people choose VTubing because they want to hide their face. I do think they choose VTubing because it is an easy way to always be perfect when maybe you're not feeling up to it. Do you know how much work it takes to like be a hot babe on screen? It's so much work, dude. You gotta have the lighting just right. You gotta have the makeup just right. You gotta wear the right push-up bra. You think I'm wearing a bra right now? Do you think I'm wearing one right now? Well, I've seen Miss Lala before. Yeah, Miss Lala face reveal. Miss Lala was on her channel as a live because she had it. I enjoyed that stream. We were watching Ms. Lala. I don't know if you guys know Ms. Lala. She's a Twitch ambassador. Makeup, lights. Yeah, it's just gross. I don't want to deal with that bullshit. You assume this top was magical. I have the extra cover up top on today because I was on YouTube and I figured I would like kind of make it a little more YouTube safe because I know that the super cleavage doesn't always. VTube's like, she posted her face before. Yeah, Miss Lala has been like at cons and stuff. I've never met her in person, but she seems really sweet. What I loved about watching her stream today is the fact that I feel like she was such a good improv person compared to the other people. And I think one of the things that I've found about VTubing is that like it's a really good avenue for women who are funny because we're not always allowed to be funny, right? And like the reason I got in watching Pecora and Hachima is because they're hilarious. And Lala is funny. Like, she's just clever. She's quick on her feet. And, like, that's the kind of thing you need from people to be a VTuber. Can you make competition always funny? Impossible. Well, yeah, but because, like, there's not as many. If you are on, and, like, I'm gonna go, like, down a whole other rabbit hole an hour from now. I don't know how long. There's a clip from Asmongold, okay? And, like, oh, no, Asmongold, right? But Asmongold is not wrong, like, all of the time. And this is a clip where he was pretty bang on, where he's like, listen, if you're a dude and you're streaming, what are people most interested in watching? First of all, the audience for streaming, there's women that watch streams, there's men that watch streams, but for the most part, it's younger men. Like, this is kind of the audience for streamer. Hey, how's it going? Hey, come on, we're just chit-chatting. I'm gonna eat some candy here in a second, but I'm just kind of talking about, like, shit. Basically what he said was, like, the reason that many, not most, but many, of the popular female streamers are VTubers is because it matters more how you look when you're a woman than when you're a man. And that is just true. That's correct. Like, it matters more if you're a woman as a man. Now, it isn't to say that there aren't women who can just, like, fire up a stream, no makeup, and beat ass. Like, I watch a lot of those streamers, like, and I'm not even, like, you know, they don't care about makeup, they don't care about lighting, they're here to game super hard, and they're good gamers. And I'll watch them, you know, regardless of what gender. So, like, anybody who posts at, like, Frame Fatales, right, which is, like, the women's speedrunning community, a lot of them are not, they're not high maintenance women. They'll just start, they want to play video games. They're not here to, like, look fancy to the camera. And then a lot of them are VTubers as well. Like, so some of them have actually switched formats to VTubing. And there's people that I met, like, through the speedrunning community who either are VTubers or now are VTubers that didn't used to be. And it's just because, like, they don't want to have to micromanage their appearance on stream and deal with the, you know, that part of thing. But there's other people who just don't give a shit about that, because they're good at a video game, and you're there to watch them be good at a video game. And I think that's the bomb. But I do think that it's way easier for a guy to do that. Like, cam off, but, like, not cam off, but even, like, oh, you're a girl? You need to show your face on stream, or else nobody's gonna watch you or care about your content. Right, in Western streamers 50-50. Yeah, because there's people of all genders who watch these content, I think. But I do think it matters. Like, was a competitive e-athlete? Yeah, like, a lot of times, like, there's a lot of people, all ages, all genders, all classes. Exactly. Yeah. I think it levels the playing field a little bit for women to be able to use a VTuber avatar. And I think that there's a lot of men out there that are like, oh, it's harder for men to break into VTubing. And I kind of understand that. Not that it's hard for anybody to break in, just start doing it. Just get the only thing limiting you is, like, how much money are you willing to spend? Because, like, looking on the screen in front of you right now, like, some money was spent. Which, I'm not going to say how much because that's very rude, but, like, you're not going to start out like this. It takes time. I started out with the avatar I drew myself and animated myself and just worked my way up to where I'm at. Is makeup or a light more expensive, or a rig more expensive? Makeup is not cheap, especially if you want good makeup. Like, if you go to Sephora, it's like $30 for a tube of lipstick. But, like, because I have subs on Twitch, and, like, thank you, by the way, like, thank you for subs, thank you for membership streams, whatever you guys want to do. Thank you so much for being here. But, like, oh, I've seen the America, I mean, being a jerk about, yeah, people, like, you have, just your looks, yeah, you can be a ping. You can, what I loved when I started watching HoloLive, what I loved was seeing the content that people were doing. Just the amazing variety of content that people were doing. The fact that they would play video games, sure, they play Minecraft, sure, they would play, like, stuff that everybody plays, but they would also just do weird, funny stuff, like Amelia Watson's debut stream, where she did, like, all that chemical stuff and was like, I'm gonna give you the concoction, and, like, all the crazy special effects coming on the screen. I was like, I'm in love. This is so cool. This is so creative and different. And that was what drew me to the whole idea of, like, oh, maybe I'll become a VTuber, because it wasn't just, like, about a camera on jug on a laptop from a box of scraps, right? And Fatware is working his way up. You know, he's got the jug and it moves now, and then we're gonna keep animating the jug, and it's gonna, like, yeah, it's gonna work. He's gonna continue to build. But yeah, I started from nothing. I started from, let me figure out how this face rig, I used face rig before I found VTube Studio, because face rig was, like, the easier way to do it. And then I did a stream where I was just, like, playing around with VTuber avatars. Like, I literally did this all, like, live, and then I was finally, like, I'm gonna go ahead and Callie, yeah, it's crazy, right? Like, they're so talented, and, like, the music, and then they do concerts, and it's so different from just streaming, turning on a camera, that I was like, oh, I didn't realize live streaming could be this creative. I didn't realize live streaming could be in this format. Which is a really different question. Yeah, because I still had my Space Girl. Although I still had boobas, but they weren't as animated as the boobas that I have now. They didn't bounce and jiggle as much. People still pick fun of my boob animations, but a little too much. You know that it's too much on purpose. I did it on purpose because I thought it was funny. Yeah. Well, I can't get rid of Lita Gemini on Steam, so I'm gonna always be Lita Gemini on Steam because Steam won't let me change my name. Unless I start a whole new Steam account, and since I have 700 and some games. The rig was good? Yeah, it was decent. It was okay. Yeah, but look like a human lady? Yeah, back when I was on fucking camera. IRL boobs don't have enough animation. Yeah, I know. It was gonna strike before we were VTuber. Yeah, when I used to show up on camera. Doesn't happen so much anymore. It's okay. It's fine. I'm not worried about it. What I'm saying was, one, I appreciated the amount of creativity that goes into those streams. You still get hand cam sometimes too. It's true. And two, I appreciated that these were girls doing the content because it's always nice to see like the equality, you know, women being lifted up a little bit. And I do think that there is a certain contingent of people who watch VTubers who they're really idol culture, right? So they don't want the VTubers to like break. Sorry, I'm gonna say wrestling terms because this is how I talk. They don't want them to break kayfabe. You guys know what kayfabe means? I know Kuma knows what kayfabe means. I know KOC knows what kayfabe means. But kayfabe, like the idea of your character or your persona that like don't want that much happening of breaking the character or the persona. So like you have VTubers like Fuamoko, who like never break character because they don't want to break that kayfabe of their character. And like that's very admirable. It's you have to do kayfabe professionally, yeah. Kayfabe is like breaking character. You watched the Mr. McMahon show. Yeah, breaking the fourth wall. Exactly. It like reminds you that they're not really a cartoon or something, right? So I make jokes all the time, like, but at the same time, like I try to like be real. So it's like a balance, like how much of this is lore versus how much of this is like really me. And one thing that I'm gonna say is that because we're gonna start talking, I literally put the politics flag on this stream, by the way, because I feel like, first of all, Twitch shows less ads on politics streams, but also like I might talk politics later on in this stream, and I didn't want anyone to be shocked by that because I am indie, I'm by myself, I don't have a corporate, you know, master. I'm a brand risk, right? My sense of humor is too raunchy sometimes, but I will be talking like maybe about politics, and I just figured I'd warn you ahead of time with the thing. Yeah, it wasn't a bit part of why I didn't have to invite you in. It's still relevant to you, kayfabe? Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Well, kayfabe is like that's exactly how it is, though, right? Like kayfabe is like it's real, but at the same time, it's not real. Like there's a little bit of a barrier there. That's why it's not just reality versus acting. It's like something different. It's a layer. It's an extra layer on top of everything. I am actually a vampire, but I can go outside in the sun. So like there's certain medication that I have been on that makes me sun sensitive, but I'm not on it right now, and I probably won't be for the near future. So I can go outside in the sun. So if I ever talk about like going out and jogging or whatever, let me know that the sun won't actually burn me. It's okay. unless I'm under orders not to go outside, but that doesn't happen that often. The only reason I don't go outside is because I'm fucking nerd. I don't even know. I was like, what do I have? I'm not a hikikomori. I have a job, but I mean, I'm a nerd. So I just stay inside because I'm a nerd. Hello, Pulsar. How are you doing? As you can see, I now have merged chat. So now everybody's chat's in the same place. Isn't that exciting? And it's moving where I can see it. I'm jazzed. It took me this long to get that fixed. Oh my god, it took me forever. But finally I have it new, exciting. Yeah, it's a major improvement. Yeah, I'm gonna have to change for my gaming streams as well, but like finally it's not the segregated chat thing. It's much better. I think Nutty, who was the person who developed this script, said like technically it's against Twitch DOS, but Twitch doesn't actually fucking give a shit, so just don't report me, gang. More online than you've ever been. Yeah, it's like showing some aspects of yourself, exactly. Like, the reason I chose this whole setup and like rebranded and went this way is because
Join me and together
it's sort of my way of synthesizing different parts of myself. My love of horror, my love of like corny camp, which is why like I kind of have the Elvira look in my character, and like my love of like goth stuff, but at the same time like I'm a nerd. Like you see my nerdy shit in the background. You can see my transformies because that's my life. So like I wanted to show off like all the different things about me. Uberella from The Simpsons, yeah. Well, I grew up watching horror movies more, I think, than most people because my dad is horror buff and basically was like, you should watch these movies. And yeah, and then Metroid and Chun-Li. Well, John Metroid and Chun-Li are like two of my childhood heroes, so they had to be present in the... I have those action figures on my shelf over there behind me. I wish I could show all of my toys, but I had to be a little selective because I didn't want the artist to break her fingers. Elvira's amazing. What a legend. And she hasn't aged very much at all. And just such a force for positivity. I really love camp, okay? And I like dark humor. And when people were starting to talk about this... Thank you. Yeah, my robots. When people were starting to talk about the Sinder thing and like their feelings were really hurt, I get it, but at the same time, like part of me was like, this is such a bummer, but like people are making jokes about it, and sometimes the jokes are a little bit funny. So I will go ahead and address this really quickly because Lon brought it up on Discord like just before the stream. But I don't know if you guys are familiar with Candle with a Q, the company that's doing like personalized candles for VTubers. I was turned a lot of people off. Yeah, well, the reason I picked the spider theme is because I know it's a little off-putting, and like I have overlays that have like spiders crawling on them and stuff. So I think if you're coming in and you're like, I'm gonna be off-put by creepy shit happening or like dark humor, maybe this isn't the right place for you to be if you're kind of put off by, yeah, it's just business candle. So they tweeted that out, and I was like, wow. And I retweeted it because I was like, that's insane. First of all, they work really fast. But second of all, that's such a dark joke that I kind of appreciated it. And I was like, well, that's like way soon. That's a dark joke. But then people were like, whoa, too soon. And a lot of people are trying to cancel their contracts with them. It's awkward for me because I was just in the process of negotiating with them. And I probably will continue to get the candle done because I worked to get it done and I'm excited to do it. So I don't think I'm gonna cancel, but there's a lot of people out there that are mad and that are canceling. So it's like, oh no, I've been put in an awkward position because I laughed at a joke that other people were really hurt by. But that happens with me a lot too, because I will, like I did that whole stream about the grifter person in gaming, and somebody came by and posted and was like, this is not funny. I was a victim of this person. And I'm like, okay, well, I mean, but it was funny though. I'm sorry, but it was funny. And I know it's not funny, like if you're not involved, but it was kind of funny. So I hate to be like, sorry, I'm kind of a dick sometimes because I make jokes that people are like, that's not funny, and I'm like, I don't know, I'm kind of a dick. I'm gonna make the joke. I make a lot of dark jokes, and it's ultimately because I fear sincerity. As I said on Sunday, I fear sincerity. I'm like Deadpool. I can't handle sadness. I have to make jokes or else I explode. Half of chat was tweaking. It's just a crazy story. I mean, the VOD of that is on YouTube. He's my boy. What can I say? He's my man. This my character, dude. So, a couple artists I could strong arm. Well, I mean, honestly, I always, at any point, I always have like 2 or 3 things in the works that I'm like waiting on a commission or waiting on a merch or something like that. The internet was when user originals peak at your own risk. Yeah. No, that's a totally different story, Sid. Totally different story. You felt like you'd been conned. Yeah, I can get that, because if somebody seems like they're really sweet and nice and then they turn out to be using you, that stings. And the degree to which apparently that had been happening, that really stung a lot of people. So if you're freaking, you know, if you're really disappointed and mad and sad about all that happening, there's no way there's no blame to be put there. Like, feel a feeling, feel a real feeling. Like, you know, don't, oh, yeah, that's so disappointing. I think if she had posted a good apology and taken accountability for, yeah, exactly. Earlier I was saying it was a conspiracy. Like, she literally, and we can say that it was her manager, right? But like, they worked together on this, and maybe he was the one that said like the things that got the ball rolling on this. But like, if she had actually taken accountability, and if she had actually apologized for real and spoken to the people who she'd hurt and tried to make amends, I don't think she would have to disappear forever. I think that the way she's handled this means she's not gonna be coming back under that brand. And if she does want to come back, she's gonna have to rebrand, and that will be an uphill climb. Well, as part of manipulating the same ways that any jokes are like humor. Yeah, I mean, that does suck, and that is sad. Like, anytime you have to deal with that kind of shit, like, it sucks, and people have been really hurt by this. But yeah, a lot of people are canceling their candle contracts. I mean, because they didn't think that joke was appropriate, and I laughed at the joke. Like, I wasn't super hurt by it, but I can see why people said that. And then, like, to add insult to injury here, if you put that should do some position I asked like lines of hers, I'm super sad with me. Yeah. And it feels like Shy Lily is such a sweetie. Like, that's like, I've become such a big booster of hers at this point that if I find out she did something bad, I'll be the one that's very sad. Hi, Gemini! Hey, can we give a shout out for Gemini, my artist who drew my amazing Vtuber? I was just talking about how I didn't draw my Vtuber because I drew it. So, what was chained together? How was that? How's that going? Do people cope with humor? Yeah, I for sure. Never give Shy much thought. No, I like her. Shy is great. I like Shy. Shy is great. I at first I was like, I don't know what her content is, but after watching her for a while, like, yeah, she's super cute. Shading her was fun. Awesome. That's the one that's like a rage game where you jump. Oh my god, you might be in ads right now. My bad. If it's ads, but they'll be over. YouTube, Twitch runs 3 minutes of ads. I run them all on a chunk because that's the only way I can. Yeah. Oh, you're gonna buy a sub? Thank you, Marriott, for handling that. I thought Spite. Yeah, I like Spite. Yeah, Spite seems really good. I hadn't watched Spite's content before, but I think for sure I will watch Spite now and just like see what she's all about because she does seem really neat. Other awesome artists I'd use first time chat or highlight if I was on Twitch. Yeah, awesome artists. Please grab a follow. Also did my second outfit totally from scratch. So my second outfit is my teacher outfit. I'm not wearing it today. I did my like cheap boobie cover up because sometimes when I'm on YouTube and I'm like active on YouTube, that people are like, well, your boobs are too much. So I have my little body stocking on, but they do uncover. They come up. Those are all rendered. That was nice. It's like Marine has the like body stocking thing. You didn't know that was a thing? People have talked to me on YouTube like, I don't know. I don't ever get like my videos demonetized or anything. Yeah, I don't ever get my videos demonetized or anything. But I've noticed people that clip me, sometimes they're really shy about the booba, and I don't know why. Because like, there are VTubers with way crazier booba than mine out there. Like, follow. Heck, Sinder's boobs are crazy. Yeah, Milky Ways. Yeah. I don't think there's... Milky Ways is the one that I think of when I think of the giant boobs. But yeah, because we did the boob review on this channel. So that's why I have the little thingy. But I also have a second outfit, which was on my Gemini. So it's really, really cute. And that's my teacher outfit. But I'm in my regular garb today because I was just going to talk about random stuff. I'm not doing a class today. Marine has been in her underwear the entire time. Yeah, and Marine also has, like, some outfits that are very racy. And so there's certain outfits where she has, like, a little body stocking underneath. Because, like, apparently Yago got shy. You can't see the teacher out. You haven't seen the teacher out. I'll swap to it real quick. Hang on. I'll swap to it just for you. Although I need to fix something on the neck because that's just me being particular. Hang on. I'll do it right now. You guys can see my second outfit. Here, let me turn my desk off too. It's sharp? No, it looks so good. You did such a good job with it. I'd have to change to my teacher model. This is where I use my classroom. I can swap to it. I usually use my my classroom. The physics on this one are not as intense because part of the reason I did this one was to like have more of a business attire look. Okay, I'm back. Ta-da! The rigging gear model is impressive. Thank you, thank you. I did the rigging myself, so blame me for that. But yeah, in a cave with a box of scraps, it's all right. But I did my own rigging, so I do this like this. The thing I like about this one is the thigh jiggle. It's kind of subtle. Yeah, well, I got a big butt. Because I'm a spider. And then my spider stockings. Yeah, so that's my teacher outfit. This is for when I'm doing like lectures. And then the glasses come off so I can take off. I wanna say it's this button. No, it's this button. There we go. The rig is so good. I do my own rigging. Yes, my rigging is done by me. So there's a little bit of boopa jiggle there. There it is right there. It's not as bad as on the other one though. Not bad. It's not as big as on the other one. This outfit is so MILF-core. Well, it's because I'm a MILF. Well, my hag. I don't know if that's right. This is my business outfit. Yes, I do like how it turned out. Yeah, I do. My own rigging. I don't have like. There's two things that I wish I had. One, the leaning forward thing that people do. I can lean forward like this much, but I can't like do the full lean, which is I wish I could do. And then I wish I had tongue. I'll have to figure that out how to rig a tongue. I have the right tracking for it. I could do this though. I can do that. I have beat bridger, but I don't have a tongue. I'll have to add that later. But yeah, I could do this. But I think it's pretty good. It's pretty good. And I also have like this kind of stuff. For when things are bad. If you update your model for a tongue, okay, maybe I'll reach out to you later. We may have to do another outfit at some point, but I'm trying to decide what one I want. I'm trying to decide if I want a workout outfit, which I think is Ariat's favorite, but I don't know what games I would do, what kind of streams I would do for it, because I want to have like match a stream that I want to do. I also thought about doing a joke arachnophobia mode where I turn into a slime like in Monster Hunter instead. Yeah, I'd have to do 3D. I've never done 3D before. I've done 3D as a designer, but I've never done 3D as like a VTuber. I've only have 2D. Slime Girl. Yeah, that was what I was joking about doing. It's my arachnophobia mode. Because in Monster Hunter, arachnophobia mode turns all the monsters into slimes. They're just crazy. I love the glasses. I think they add so much. I have the rigging on the chains too, so they kind of move around a little bit. But with any kind of sweaty game, I need, honestly, because of speed running, I need like a speed. That's what it should be for. It should be for speed running. When I finally get speed running. Okay, I'm gonna put my outfit back. I'm gonna put back my other one. But yeah, that's the other outfit. Are those horrifying censored cats? I've heard of that satisfactory arachnophobia mode. And it always cracks me up when the arachnophobia mode is just as scary as the regular mode. Maid? Yeah, Maid would be good too. For Halloween, I was a nun, but it was just an asset that I bought. It wasn't like custom. Obviously, because I didn't ask you for it. It was still cute. The Nun is for a cover song, but the other art for it isn't. So much work. Let me put my desk back. Yeah, so that's my thing. I have my desk on. I don't know. I don't even need it. I'll zoom in. You can see my socks too. Are they cute or what? My Spidey socks. They have jiggle too. There's like a little bit of jiggle. Not as much, I think, when I move on this one. The skirt's all jiggle though. There we go. See? That's my back and forth. The reason I picked this theme for character, honestly, is just because, like, I have a dark sense of humor, and I know people will be like, ew, gross. They wouldn't be interested in my content. So I figured we'll just go ahead and let anybody know that I'm like a horny weirdo, and if you're not down for that, then maybe. Do I have animations or poses? This is the only pose that I have. I mean, it could be like a future update, maybe, I don't know. Except for I have emotions, so I have like this. And like my sadness is like a little bit too much. Oh, and then I have the spider legs. That's right. Thank you, Ariat. I forgot. How would I forget about the spider legs? They were so hard to draw too. I mean, no, I did not that I drew them, but they were also hard to rig. So, they do this. I can zoom out so you can see that more clearly. Basically, they fold down and they fold out like that. That's my full like character with spider legs on. They do also work in the nun outfit, by the way, which was pretty awesome to find out because they look really badass with the nun outfit. But yeah, Drider vibes. Yeah, they're attached to my butt. Do you see that? You see that spider butt like a little bit in the back? But yeah, 3 PSDs because your iPad could handle those. I'm just really happy with how. I'm really happy with how, this is such a digression, but the animation of them flipping out and going back in, it's based on Tarantulas, yes. The way they flip out. I think that was really fun to do. And the little like bounce when they hit the back wall like that. Yeah. I told you guys, I have a degree in animation, not drawing, animating. So I know how to animate shit, but I don't know how to draw shit. So I know all the principles of animation. So like all the physics here is like tuned to my sensibilities, I guess you could say. But like I don't, yeah, definitely not the drawing. The drawing, I don't have any rendering skills whatsoever. So happy that you do, so that I got to look cool. You have degree in animation, but God, you hate it. So I went to school for CGI, but when I decided that I was interested in CGI. And I was like, I think this new computer animation thing seems neat. That was not a thing, like, when I first started. I was just interested in it. You know how, like, vampires go to high school and they decide they want to learn a trade? Like, I'm going to go to high school again? Well, I went to college. And I went to college and I was like, I'm interested in this CGI stuff. And it was brand new at the time. There wasn't a lot to it. That's fair. Yeah, there wasn't a lot to it. That was very simple. I learned on Maya, which used to be Alias Wavefront Maya before it got bought out by Autodesk. So now it's Autodesk Maya. And then eventually I learned 3D Studio Max. You were about to ask? Yeah, I learned on Maya. Back then it was like a NURBS system. Oh, this is such a digression from where I was going, but this is what Just Chatting streams are about, right? It was a NURBS system, which is like more like sewing. And you basically like draw a spline. It stands for non-uniform rational B-splines, I think. Is that right? The splines is what you draw, and then you draw the splines, then you connect the splines together and you make like shapes. I didn't learn modeling with polygons until I got into game development, and I did game development. So then I learned how to use polygons, and I was way more into 3D Studio Max. I do not know how to use Blender. If you put me in front of Blender, I'm like the dog in front of the computer. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to use Blender. I've never learned it. Only thing I've learned is Maya and Max, and it's very rusty on Maya. So like, if you put me in front of Max, I'll be fine. AutoCAD is, yeah. AutoCAD I've messed with. But I think Max is the one that I'm the most comfortable in, and even then I'm rusty. I haven't done 3D in a long time. Like I would probably hire somebody to do a 3D model for me as opposed to try and do it on my own. But again, like I might do my own rigging. I just don't think I would do my own modeling because like I would rather have somebody who's like not as out of practice as I am, especially if they're going to use Blender, because I'd be like learning a whole new thing. But when I was in school, they didn't have ZBrush, and that was invented later. But that was invented by people I knew. So yeah, and ZBrush is what's used to like put the details on models. So when you go in a game and like the skin textures and pores on everything are on the character, that's ZBrush. And the way ZBrush works is it's like you take a drawing tablet and you draw on a piece of digital clay and you basically sketch textures and the items and stuff. So what you would usually do is use that to like create like a more detailed texture map, and then you'd put that like on your item. That's how you define fabricator. AutoCAD's your only option, yeah. And AutoCAD stuff doesn't, like, it's better now than it used to be, because I used to have to worry about like poly counts and all that shit, and people don't care about optimizing as much anymore as they used to, because processors and GPUs are so much faster than they used to be that nobody has to worry about it the same way. But like, I'm still from the old school where I'm like, you might be able to cut some polys on that. But I feel like for VR chat or whatever, it's good to be conservative in your poly count, because you don't want to have your poly count be like off the charts. So yeah, it's my 3D modeling lab for a little bit, I guess. Someday I'll have a 3D. I know Alice Doll is gonna do her birthday in VR chat, and she's invited me to come by, but I don't have a 3D model, so I'll probably just have to be like some generic person. Maybe I'll get something close, but I don't know. So if I slide by, I'll... People don't care about Optimus. Everyone that hates Unreal Engine 5, yeah. Be a spider? I'll just be an actual spider. There we go, that's fine. I probably can find a spider to be. Just a spider. Not even a person. Just like a, yeah. I wanted to be Mithra Xenoblade, but I couldn't figure out how to upload a model to VR chat, and this was years ago. And then they were like, oh, you have to have like a certain amount of time in VR chat before you can pick your own model, and I was like, oh, that's gross. I don't want to be somebody I don't want to be. I want to be the person I want to be. I'm just gonna have to like open VR chat and leave it idling for 2 days so that I can earn the VR chat credits to change my avatar. I don't know if I know how VR chat works. I'm gonna get a lesson in VR chat. Somebody's gonna teach me how to VR chat. I don't have any VR equipment though. I used to. Yeah, Frankie. Frankie's the VR pro. Frankie did my music, by the way. My music was done by Frankie. I sometimes will use like a stream safe playlist or something, but I've discovered that YouTube actually demonetizes some of those musics and I don't know which ones. So like, we'll just stick with my music because I know I have the rights to it. Like there's like a stream beats or whatever. Sometimes they get demonetized for stream beats and I'm like, I don't have the patience to figure out which ones of these are safe to play on YouTube and which ones aren't. I don't care about monetization that much, but it just sucks to get that message from YouTube, like, you know, a copyright claim was filed on your video. Last week I showed Gura's last music video on my stream, and then I got a bunch of alerts like, other people are using your content, and it was just Gura's, and I'm like, that's not my content, YouTube. That's not, I promise you, I am not Casey Edwards, and I am not Gower Gura. If I was, I'd be in a very different place in my life right now. So I have this theory, now that I'm kind of inching back to the topic that I started with. I have this theory that Gura wanted to graduate for a while, but she was waiting to get the song finished because she was doing a song with Casey Edwards. So I think Mume probably knew that she was graduating, like, way before, like, I think they knew, I think HoloLive knew. And they just didn't announce it because she was like kind of hanging on till we got our music done. That's just my theory. I don't have anything really to back that, but it feels like that music video was so epic and just like a dream to make that you wouldn't want to quit before it was done. But the song was also like very final and very like, this is my last song kind of vibes. If it's Ash again, if you haven't heard it, it's on her channel. You know, it's a beautiful song. It's incredible. It's big Devil May Cry vibes. It's pretty much a DMC song. So I think she wanted to get that to the point where it was like played and done, and then go ahead and announce. Because Mume did her last stream just the other day, and it was the 3D concert. And it was beautiful. I watched the whole thing, and you know, it's like, I think with Mume, a lot of times when somebody graduates, they come right back. Yeah, there's also much things for a larger corporation. Exactly. And she had a lot of outstanding contracts and stuff that she was working with. So, like, you can't let other people down. If you have a contract out that you're making something, you have to be willing to, like, play ball until it's time for you to settle all your, you know. So I think it was basically a drama-free, like, graduation, but she just, like, had a lot that she was doing before she could do it. And I think that she will probably come back as a independent streamer, whereas I don't think that's the case with Mume, because Mume quit because of health issues in her throat. And maybe she'll draw and do art and stuff, but I don't think she's going to be streaming in the same way. So I think it's kind of a little bit more disappointing for people. But to know that somebody's having major health issues, the thing that you want the most is for them to get better and get well. So the fact that she even did like singing actually surprised me, because I thought if she was going to rest her throat, then she wouldn't bother doing like another song cover. But she got it out there, and then she probably wants to take a break. Graduating and being that Ame could have been with bad images, probably wouldn't have wanted. Yeah, that's true too. And Ame is a special case because Ame is not like of graduated. She's like graduated, but like she can still come. They still let her come back for like, she came back for Kiara's concert. Do I still have 420? She came back for Kiara's concert.
And on this day, 420, Easter Sunday, she is risen.
Yeah, she came back for a concert. I had to do it. Sorry, I had to do it to you. Because she's allowed to do that. Like, she has like a weird contract thing. So do we want to briefly, I feel like I talked about the Sinder thing. If anybody like has anything else they want to bring up, there's something else that I want to talk about. There's two other things. I want to talk about Gamersupps. And that one's going to be like kind of involved, and you're going to, I don't know, maybe you'll have some opinions about Gamersupps, I don't know. But Matara as well was in like a shock that she got let go from Vshojo. Like just yesterday? Like I wasn't even gonna, like, she just got let go from Vshojo like just yesterday for like, well, has enough happened yet? Has enough happened? But it seems like that was not really a drama. It seems like that was just a contract negotiation situation, because I watched her stream, or I watched a clip from her stream where she talked about it. And I don't think that there's a lot of details, but it's sort of that she basically had like a different merch pipeline that she was using, and that went around like Vshojo's merch pipeline. And they decided not doing that was bad. And that's all I've got, right? Like they decided to part ways with her because the contract kind of wasn't working out for her from like a merchandising perspective. And I think Matara's interesting because I feel like she and I have a lot in common as streamers in a lot of ways. Like, not to toot my own horn because she's so much like more famous than me, but like, you know, I like bugs. We're old. I actually don't think she's as old as I am, actually. She's a regular cockroach. She's not a vampire. She's not 425 years old. But, you know, she has, like, kind of mom vibes, right? Like, mom/wine aunt vibes on her stream. And whenever I've seen her game, she plays, like, pretty deep, like, strategy-type games, which is not my thing. Like, I don't really play strategy games as much, but, like, I respect it. That's really cool. The only strategy games I play are, like, the literal, what Catspur calls 2 pixels in a PhD style games, like Dwarf Fortress. Catspur debuted last week in the middle of all this fucking chaos, right before the chaos. She was like 41 or 42. I thought she was younger than that, honestly, but that wouldn't surprise me. I work in an industry where some companies have pretty people. Yeah. I think Vshojo like did a solid by just saying, and that's always been their model, that you keep your IP if you leave the company, because like they've had other people leave before and they've kept their IP. And I think that that is nice of them. I mean, I know that Matara paid for her own shit out of pocket, so I would hope she was able to keep it, because that was all the stuff that she said she commissioned for herself. So, like, I would not want a company to steal that from me. I think with HoloLive, they pay for everything, so it's theirs. So when you graduate, you don't get to keep the IP or any of the characters, which makes sense because, like, it's their IP. It's really complicated. But, like, if you were to join, they would give you a totally brand new character. Whereas when she joined with Vshojo, you keep your IP and your character. They don't own that. So it's more of a brand deal kind of situation. So it's nice of them to be able to say, like, hey, yeah, but keep your, you know, your character's not going to have this emblem on it anymore, but they're still going to, like, yeah. Well, you know, so I think it was something non-compete against the law, seemed kind of like identity portability to be there to some extent. One of the things that I think has changed so majorly in VTubing over the past couple of years from when I first started is not necessarily even the kayfabe thing, but it's kind of possible to know if it's okay that yeah, I don't know how much they take. I do know that it's like you're gonna get so much more publicity from joining HoloLive than you would like as an independent. So it's kind of the push-pull that you take. Like, maybe you think you could have made it on your own and taken 100% of your revenue and kept 100% of your IP. Or maybe you think you'd be better off with their big machine. Because if you debut with them, you're going to have 100,000 people watching your debut. That's crazy. Like, that's crazy. You're not going to have that, like, as an indie unless you've done so much legwork to... This is impossible to get that level. You might have a couple hundred people watching, but as an indie. But I think there's a lot that's changed from the Selen thing in Niji-Sanji, because I do feel like Dokibird was the first VTuber to just be like, I'm not really gonna do this kayfabe. That I was like, I'm not gonna pretend that I'm not the same person, you know? And I think that opened a lot of doors for people to be like, oh, you don't have to pretend you're the same person. You don't have to pretend you're not the same person. We're gonna be cute about it. Like, you see a lot of, like, secretly this person is that person. Or, like, I saw a clip of, like, these two people are meeting for the first time, quote unquote, but obviously they knew each other from their previous lives. So you see a lot of that. Was that the lore with the character? Yeah, it's true. They build up a lot of the lore. They do a lot of the design work. They do a lot of the legwork for the merchandising. I don't know how much is the performer versus the company, because I don't know if anybody has those details. I mean, but I do know that in a lot of cases, like, the performer will make a decision, they'll make a choice, and then they'll work together with the company. So there's pros and cons to being in an agency, which I am not aware of. Pumble Rain Puff is my Kamiyoshi. Well, I mean, Fantoma is my Kamiyoshi. Pumble Rain Puff is dead. But yeah. She just released a really, really good cover. I watched right before the stream. Mint, go watch Mint. Yeah, she's my girl. She's my favorite. I really liked Pomu when she was with Niji. She was my favorite from Niji. I really like Rosemi as well. Rosemi blows me away. She made a post just the other day about doing her own 3D in her own house, just like Ame did. And that's the kind of shit I like to see. Like, people taking that kind of initiative to do, like, crazy projects like that. I think Rosemi's so cool. I really wish she would escape Niji. Shh. Just rebrand Rosemi. We love you. Don't just somebody tell her I said that. But and I really like Dokibird. Like, Dokibird is great. So yeah, I'm a huge Wisp. Big fan of her work. What's the demographic crisis? What is that? I've been watching her a lot lately because she's playing DMC, which is like one of my favorite game series of all time. So I want Rosomi and Petra to come back. Yeah, me too. I like them both. In fact, I still have, I bought every Obsidia plushie. I have all 3 of the Obsidia plushies. And I also, like the official ones when they released their anniversary. And, oh, pregnancy. Yeah, right. Just not, stop getting pregnant, stop getting pregnant, stop getting pregnant, stop getting pregnant. Mint Phantom is great though. Yeah, intense anti-natalism. We make so many jokes about Mint. Yeah, because she'll go on her scream and stream, stop getting pregnant. That was for those of you that don't know that joke, it's some response to her stream where she did the Santa baby. And she sang Santa. She's such a good singer. She's such a good singer. And then people posted pregnancy gifts. That's humping. That's different. That's different for pregnancy. They posted like pregnancy gifts, and she's like, "Stop getting pregnant! I didn't make you pregnant." It is on tenor. It is. There's actually like a gif of it. If you want to post like mid stop pregnant, it's like on there. She's famous for yelling, "Stop getting pregnant." I love her. She's so funny. Oh my god. Just like Doki's famous for the wild take that she did that one time during that date. I can't do it as good as she does. Like that crazy, like, wild take. Her eyes, like, went 1,000,000 huge. It's such a funny clip. I was there when that happened. I was watching her stream when that happens. And, like, the date that went wrong. And I was like, I'm a 2-window person. I'll put a stream on. I'm the worst at lurking. Like, that's the reason I love it when people come and lurk. Because, like, I'm a big lurker. I will be in your chat and you will not know because I'll have it on while I'm lurking, or while I'm playing a video. I'll be playing like Star Rail or some shit, and I'll have somebody's chat open. So I was watching her Doki Bird when that happened, and then like the awkward date conversation. I stopped what I was doing and like looked over to that window and was like, "What the fuck is happening?" Simon, who's that? Interesting how a lot of fandom has to be 100%. Like, everything about them, nothing about them. Yeah. I mean, yeah. What? The most difficult thing that there is to talk about, and what I think is going to be challenging needle for me to thread, and this is going on YouTube, so I'm, it's going to be on here, and people are going to see, whatever, I don't know. But the challenging needle for me to thread here is that, like, I think VTubing is both more and less political than it used to be. And by political, I don't mean like, we were talking about VTuber apologies earlier. We're talking about the VTuber apology of all time was when Kiryu Coco had to graduate because she offended China, right? Like it was an international fucking incident. Like, she had to, and like, Chimai had to apologize for not liking baseball. Like, there's been some VTuber apologies. There's been some VTuber apologies. But I think there's been like a lot of stratification between still waiting on Aster. Yeah, well, we're still waiting on Aster. We don't know what happened with Aster or Twisty. Like, there's a whole drama there where Aster from Niji Sanji, like, Gundam Murray, that was her original name. Yeah. Gundam was based. She was my favorite Niji Sanji JP person. And I loved her stream. And then she had to graduate because of the baseball situation. And she was like the only Niji JP person that I watched. So I was like, what the fuck? What? Because she was such a filthy potty mouth, and she would go on streams and just say the most raunchy shit. I've been watching translations of her live, and she's still like that. I mean, but yeah, that was like. And having a similar situation with Rooster Teeth. Oh yeah. Rooster Teeth is. I'm not familiar with like all the stuff about Rooster Teeth, but like, I mean, I used to watch Red versus Blue, all the time. And that was kind of what I knew Rooster Teeth from. But then they've kind of done like a lot of this and that. Also, the good filthy women in Niji Sanji graduated. Yeah. Do you think Niji Sanji, I know, in Japan, it is not controversial the same way it is in the West. Like, in Japan, they do not think that what happened with the EN group was bad, right? They just kind of don't. They just kind of think that, like, you have to do the company line. If you're too independent and you don't follow the rules, you deserve to get slapped. I think it's very much a cultural thing. I'm not Japanese. I'm not going to speak for the Niji Sanji management, but I feel like they are not the same, like, how to put it? They're not received the same way. When all that shit went down with Doki Bird, everybody in America was like, what the fuck? No, that shouldn't be. But in Japan, they were like, yeah, of course she got in trouble. She did not follow the rules. And I think that that's like the line that people drew. So like in Japan, I don't think Niji Sanji's I don't think their stock has dropped. In other words, like their money stock dropped, but I think like their cultural cash didn't necessarily drop the same way that it did. Whereas now, like in the US, it's very, very polarized. And I think that's what I mean by like more political. I think once that breakup kind of happens, like it became very polarized. Like either you're gonna be a fan of this or you're not gonna be a fan of this, and you're gonna have to be outspoken about this one way or another. And it kind of sucks in a way because like I said, I like Rosemi a lot. I like Petra. I want to I still watch Rosemi. I want to be able to support them without feeling conflicted about it. You know, I still have all my Rosemi merch. Before the drama went down. I don't even want to say drama. I hate the word drama, but I mean, before all that breakup happens. Yes, and because VTubing is very like Japanese culturally, and because they have this like Japanese cultural slant to it, the idea that you would break rank at your company isn't seen with the same eye as it is seen with in the West. So Japanese work culture is like you would never break rank with your company. Whereas here in the West, like if people break rank with their company, they may be seen as a rebel, may be seen as like doing the right thing. And especially since Selene got screwed so badly, you know, with what happened, it just felt like it was sort of easier for people who were viewers to be like, yeah, screw that, screw those guys. And when I did a video about it, you know, 2 years ago at this point, it surprised me like how strongly people felt about that. Like that was a big deal. And it also surprised me that it kind of put me on a side because everything got very polarized, right? And what I wanted to do and what I still want to do is like stand up for workers, stand up for the performers, because the performers are like the people who put their heart out there and do their best. Was the Vtuber union? That's what I'm saying. Like, work culture. Like, unionize. I really don't know about VTubers. But if you think about it, actors, voice actors, they have unions. And you can be non-union and be a voice actor, which is like the things happening with the existing union for performers, right? That's what I'm saying. It would have to be a branch of like a voice acting union, I think is the closest like possible thing, right? And then you can figure out like, oh, you're going to join the voice acting union. So obviously like an independent VTuber like myself probably wouldn't need to join the union, but like if there's people that are like working for companies, they might have to join the union, and then it becomes like non-union VTubers versus union VTubers. But there's no union for live streamers, and the live streamer, this is part-time for me. I stream 3-4 times a week tops. Not full-timer. But there's people who are live streamers full-time. That's their full-time job. And it is grueling work. You might think like, oh, you're just in front of a camera and babble all day. But like, first of all, it is so hard to be on as a performer, like for a long period of time. And if you're somebody who does commentary or chatting, you have to think about like, what are you going to talk about or do all day? If you're somebody who plays games, then you've got to like probably be pretty good at the game you're playing. There are people who stream 8 hours a day every day, 12 hours a day every day, no sleep, they're making their own YouTube thumbnails. They have a staff of people. Like, all the bigger streamers have, like, staffs, right? Or they'll have, like, all their collab partners. They have a manager to work from, like, all that stuff, right? It's for sure work. It's for sure hard work. And a lot of times, like, let's talk about HoloLive. When they talk about what they're doing on their stream, like, what they're, like, I had homework, is what they say. What the fuck is homework? I don't know. But they had homework, and there seems to be a lot of it. They have a lot of paperwork to do. They have a lot of, yeah, Vidal has employees. Yeah, exactly. Because to keep that kind of stream up and running, it's a team. It's not just one person. And then you don't want to set the expectations that a single person can perform to that level by themselves without help. I mean, even like I've talked about all the people that helped me get to the space I am now, like with the art that I have, and like, you know, I some of it's my work and some of it's the work of other people, but it's commissions and artists and the musicians and all the stuff that helps make this happen. But like, ProZD has never made a thumbnail. ProZD is, there's some people who are just fucking talented, but ProZD is also an early mover, right? He started making stuff like a long time ago, and some of the stuff that he's uploading to shorts is like his old stuff that he's just like repurposing, but just to get like more mileage out of it. And I think that fucking rules. But I think, you know, for a lot of people, standing out is harder than it used to be because VTubers have gotten much more competitive as well. You can't just necessarily just fire up a VTuber and it'll be novel just because you're a VTuber. So a lot of what people do is they'll have like different art styles or different gimmicks, or like, you know, they just try to find a way to stand out. Like it's hard. And there's a lot of paperwork stuff. Yeah, exactly. For Hollywood, there's got a lot of paperwork stuff. And there's like a lot of dance lessons, and they get up there and dance those complicated dances. That's all choreography, baby. They gotta go to class, to go to Japan for 2 weeks so you can learn the dance routine. Like, that's hard work. I couldn't do that. You couldn't get me dancing in a mocap rig. If I do that, I hired a stunt double. Saturation really is a challenge. Yeah, it's tough. Yeah, and I'm just saying this like as somebody who just has their own stream. Like, there's just like a lot of options out there for, you know, you're gonna hang out with, or you're gonna watch. You can have 3 tabs open. I do that all the time. There's a person in the spotlight, and those keep the show running. Exactly. That's exactly right. And it's a comment. Ollie was so bad they told her to stop singing. Yeah, they do voice lessons. Some of them are just naturally very good at singing, and I think that was the case with Gura. Gura is really, really good at singing with minimal training. I mean, I'm sure she's had some now that she's in HoloLive to like make it more polished, but I think she didn't have any when she first started streaming. I saw a post from the user Raccoon was criticizing. Yeah, people get picky. You know, your brand is your business. Whatever you choose to do is your business as far as your brand. Yeah, learning to speak Japanese, exactly. Yeah, there's a lot of work that goes into it. And I think every single one has to do voice lessons because they do have to release songs even if it's not their favorite thing. Like, Amelia Watson was never like a vocalist, but there was a big improvement between when she first started out doing like random bad karaoke to when she started like releasing music for HoloLive, because I think they really wanted to put her like in the gravity chamber of like, you have to sing, you have to be able to sing songs. I'm actually vocally trained, so it's not my problem. Maury's always in some kind of lesson. Yeah, well, Maury was also a teacher as well, right? She was also an English teacher as well, right? So she's always, but she kind of had a little bit, she was, I think she was in Japan teaching English before she got picked up as a HoloLive person. Like, maybe not chronologically, but like singing helps with vocal range. Yeah, there's a lot that goes into singing. Right, that's a good point. All the male actors got really, really fit because it was their job to get fit. Your job is to look like a superhero. We are gonna train you to look like a superhero. HoloLive is the same thing for idols. Like, you show up, like, Boom, you're in the idol boot camp. We're going to train you to be an idol. We're going to give you the idol juice. You think it's just steroids? Do you think it's just steroids? I mean, it probably is. Let's be honest. It probably is. But they do work them out. They do work out. They make them work out. They make them lift. They make them cut. They make them eat broccoli. I think it's a Chris Pratt that posted like, I can't believe I have to eat broccoli and chicken again because this is all they let me eat now because he was trying to get in shape for Guardians and then he didn't even want to do it. Yeah. Well, the thing is that the juice will give you muscle, but it will not give you that cut look that they're after for camera, right? The cut is the hard part. Honestly, that's the hardest part for me. Yes, exactly. If you take HGH and don't lift, you're just gonna look big. You're gonna look bloated. So it's the cut that is like the really hard part of the routine and the cardio that you have to do to like keep the fat off your body so that your muscles pop. It's true for cosplay as well because I'm on a fucking nasty cut right now. Yeah, exactly. Girls in between takes to stay pumped because they have to do that because they have to keep their muscles like looking good for camera. I don't even know how I got this topic, but like, yeah, but like, that's the same. I'm on a cut. I'm about to eat peanut butter cups, but this is one off. You can't just take the juice. It's got to be the juice plus cardio plus exercise plus eating nothing but chicken breast and like you have to eat like The Rock. Just like a bunch of lean protein, white fish, chicken breast. I had chicken breast for dinner. That's what kind of cut them on for real. Like the protein shakes. Like what you eat on a cut is like tons of vegetables and very lean protein. So like chicken and fish. You know, and if you're gonna have like something with fat in it, like a steak or something, that's like your cheat meal. Did the guy from getting mugged or I did not hear that. Is that true? That's crazy. Superhero stuff. If they hire you to become a superhero, I think the biggest transformation was, I forget the name of the guy, Cuniel, who did the, who was in, fucking Eternals, was a dog shit movie. Just a fucking awful movie. But he got so swole and so cut to be in that movie. To play Kingo. Kingo, my favorite Eternal. Okay, that's one thing I'm not afraid to talk shit about. Eternals was such a terrible movie. Oh my god. So fucking dog shit movie. Amount of protein cows are put on muscle? Oh, yeah, for real. And you're eating it like pure protein calories too. Like you could do what called a dirty bulk and eat whatever. But the dirty bulk isn't going to get you that cut look. So you have to eat like a clean bulk, which is like, eat this whey protein and just chug like 2 glasses of milk and eat 2 chicken breasts. Ugh. I'm on high protein right now. I'm on like 120 grams a day, which is not crazy, but it's a lot. You gotta eat a lot of chicken. You gotta slam muscle milk in the morning. And when you're at HoloLive, you gotta train in the dancing gravity chamber. And you gotta learn to dance. And then about VTuber, I used to come to MV and some clips to read about the lore, and I love Halloween lore. Yeah, the lore is like part of the kayfabe, honestly. It is either high protein or high. Yeah. If you're high, then you're just eating a bunch of food because you're high. You don't make good food choices when you're high. That is not the time when you make excellent food choices. Then usually if you're high, you make bad food choices. You're like, I want some really greasy nachos. Not that I know from experience or anything, but you know, because I'm a good girl. You're really into Full I was talking about them earlier because Full are the, like, one of the most like dedicated to their characters of like their role play of their character. Yeah, you choose the food in sight, right? Like, yeah, if it's something that's sitting in, a candy bar, I'm gonna eat that because it's there. I'm gonna eat it. Or chips, I'm into it. Let's do that. Although sometimes you get the idea. Sometimes you're like, ooh, you know what would go down really smooth right now? And you're like putting things together like you're some kind of fucking alchemist. I made a pretty good protein shake one time though. It was like chocolate sauce and spinach. That sounds gross, but hear me out. You go on a net and you're like, let's put in our pizzas. Sometimes you can put chocolate with vegetables and like with the protein shake as a binder, it's totally fine. It hides the taste of the vegetables. I'll do coffee and avocado. I haven't done that in a while, but you could do coffee and avocado and chocolate and it actually blends together super well. As long as you like have the fat in your macros to eat the avocado. Or spinach, mint, and vanilla protein, which is like it's like a shamrock shake with spinach blended into it. That makes it green, so you don't have to use food dye, and then you just drink the spinach. Yeah, they're cute. I like them a lot. One of the things that I'm shamelessly a fan of Hollow Stars as well. So Hollow Star, can you add cucumber? Yeah, I feel like I would do cucumber and mint. That might be okay, yeah. Give it a shot. Let me know how it goes. I've never eaten a Tide Pod, which is probably a good thing. You can make Jello Tide Pods and pretend you're eating Tide Pods. Good prank. I also like to watch the Hollow Stars. I like the boys. So I always like it when the boys and girls are able to collab. And I think that's one of the things that people are very, like, either for or against, right? I personally like the men. I think the men are cool. I like them a lot. And I like Gamma's Battle. I like, Ruse, like Crimson Ruse. I think they're really cool. And, like, it's cool when they get to collab with the girls. I know Ollie often collabs with the boys. And I really like Liz, Elizabeth Rose Bloodflame for doing that, because she came out and said like, hey, I really like the Hollow Stars and I want to hang out with those guys. And they were like, yeah, cool, you can do that. And, I think there's some folks that like are they really want the genders to remain separate for some reason, like because of idol culture. And they're like, oh, don't let a boy talk to the girl. Like, we only want cute girls doing cute things. We don't want to see icky boys. And it's like, come on, guys. Yeah, be grown up about it. Genders are allowed to talk to each other. They're all in the same company. They're all co-workers. Like, I get it, but like, yeah, ID doesn't ever have that problem. And I think that personally, like, the chemistry between Regis and, unicorns, that's the kind of fan. Yeah. Little sister, that little sister, big sister energy, I think is so fun and so funny. But people are really not about that, I got so tongue-tied. But yeah, like Liz basically came like right out and said like, I'm gonna work with the boys and it's gonna be fine. I'm gonna acknowledge that they exist. And then there's some girls that have never ever acknowledged or never want to collab with the boys. So like, yeah, it just sort of is a, like, I prefer the more open. I promise when I see girls that I want to have fun, when I see boys like me, I want to see them do dumb shit, take it to jackass levels. Yeah, no, that's legit. That's legit. I think when the girls are jackasses. The girls are allowed to be jackasses too. Raid! Sarah Neko reading! How are you doing? How was your stream? Yeah. I saw you were streaming earlier. How's it going? Welcome. Welcome, Raiders. This is a free chat today because I thought people wanted to vent about VTubing. So now we're just like talking about VTubing, like good things about VTubing, I guess. We're talking about happy things now because the sadness needs to end and be over. Oh, that's right. You were in Phantasy Star. That's so cool. But I understand when people say business decision. Well, that was what I took away from the Matara con clip when she was talking about why she had to leave Vshojo. It was like, she literally said, I know this sounds like a cliche, but it really is just business. And I was like, you know what? That's fair. That really was just business. Unlike the Sinder situation where somebody saying it's just business is like pretty dark-sided. It's a pretty cruel thing to say to somebody. Say dark-sided like that one Christian lady from the controversial stuff that's happened over the past couple weeks, though. I'm glad I can just kind of vibe and talk to you guys about it. I feel like it feels better to just sort of get it out in the open, talk about the graduations and stuff, and say, like, yeah, everything's gonna be okay. But I do think that, like, VTubing has shifted now. I think there's gonna be a lot more small groups popping up because everybody wants to be part of something. Everybody, Spanish messing YouTubers, other things hard, I know. If you like dumb shit, you'll enjoy. Yeah, if you want to see, like, Jackass, just watch Gavis Battle. Gavis Battle is a total Jackass VTuber. You have to wait till he plays Grimlord in VR. His VR streams are beautiful. Just wonderful. Yeah, there's not very many in Espanol. There, Iron Mouse is Hispanic, Puerto Rican. Oh, no, I might be wrong. What Iron Mouse is though? She speaks Spanish. I mean, tell me what. And Gold Bullet, I think. And also, I want to say Amelia Watson speaks a little Spanish. Not as her primary language though. I think it's like a secondary language that she speaks a little bit. But it's not like her primary. I do think that there could be like hate to read and run and have a good night. Yeah, of course. Get some rest, get some sleep. You were gaming, you were streaming. Puerto Rican, yeah, okay, yeah. What when Iron Mouse breaks out the Shakira, it's like she's a different person. It's like, I didn't know your voice could do that. Yes, and Rainbow, that's the other one. Yeah, the ghost. I haven't seen her in a while, but yeah. So she's Colombian, yeah, she's just English. So I think there's some Spanish speaking. I speak Duolingo Spanish. I've been doing Duolingo Spanish for 2 years. I used to have to travel to South America for work, so I kind of hack it a little bit, but I would never try to stream. I would be very embarrassed. You have to get me drunk before I could stream in Spanish, I think. Because I would just be like, sorry, I just dropped something. Because I would just be like, very embarrassed to stream in Spanish. But they have to learn Japanese, so a lot of the HoloLive folks have to start learning Japanese because they have JP audience. That's interesting, yeah. I've traveled. I've never been to Japan. So it's bucket list for me. I would like to go. I think it'd be really cool to see Japan and see the world. But I've never been. I've been to a couple countries, but not any part of Asia, so that'd be fun to go. I think Iron Mouse is really talented. She's another person that I mean I didn't discover until I started watching VTubers on Twitch, but she's just a super talented singer, streamer. Seems like a sweet person, you know. So there's lots of people you can watch out there you can have fun with. Streaming, opening TCG packs. I mean, do whatever makes your heart happy, I'd say. One of the things I've noticed is that, like, I think there's a lot of people that do chatting streams, but they don't really want to talk about, like, anything too heavy, right? And I think there's some VTubers that do, like, full-on political commentary. And I think there's a big gap between, like, those folks and the other folks because, like, if you're part of a big company like a corporation, you basically don't want to be seen as, like, a brand risk. So you don't want to touch any, like, topics that might be nuclear for your company, right? Because you could get in trouble, you could have to graduate, maybe you said something wrong that pissed off a politician, and, like, all of a sudden, you know. Whereas, like, if you're an independent, basically you can say whatever you want. If you decide later, oh, I'm going to audition for one of these companies, in my experience, it seems like if you're changing your character, if you did some stuff that might have been a brand risk before, just don't do it on the new brand, and you're fine. But I don't know if that's just my, like, because having seen, like, content from people before they join HoloLive as opposed to now, it is not always controversy-free, right? And that's all I guess I can really, unless you want to be like, Like, for example, some of the stuff that Mori Calliope said before joining HoloLive is maybe, like, would not fly as a HoloLive person. But it doesn't matter, because once you join HoloLive, you're a new brand. You know what I mean? And I also think that there's a type of edgy humor, right? And Gura is the queen of it. Like, really. Like, a type of edgy humor where you're kind of, like, a little shit that cusses, right? And who thinks dirty jokes. And I think that turned way down with the, not completely to zero, I will say, not completely to zero with the Gaurgura brands, but it certainly was not to the level that it had previously been, and I don't know what's going to happen in the future. Or, like, Randon, who, the office orc, he says shit that HoloLive would never, it's so out of pocket. Right? Just constantly, like, and I'm one of those people that will say some shit that's out of pocket, and you don't want to say, like, something that would be a brand risk, you know? That would be, like, too raunchy or dirty or putting people off. It would be hard for me, because I sometimes have a potty mouth, and I will just say, like, something completely out of pocket. And I'll be like, wait, I have to stop myself from saying that. There's been a lot of... So tell me about Wactor. I don't know anything about Owazu or Wactor. I don't know. Oh, and about not listening to your own voice. Nobody in the history of ever likes hearing their own voice. You have to get really, really used to it. And when I first started streaming and would go back and edit my VODs, it was 1000% cringe at all times hearing my own voice, because I do not like the sound of it at all. Speaking. It's especially speaking. But sometimes listening to singing too. The only reason I don't cringe as much with singing is because I was a trained vocalist, so I had to listen to my own singing. But with speaking, I was never, like, trained to speak, so listening to my own voice speak, it sucks. I hate it. You get used to it after a while. You'll go back and you'll listen to your VODs and you'll be like, okay, that's what I sound like, I guess. For better or for worse. I'm trying to get better, honestly, at using my voice, my speaking voice. Because I think that there's more range to it than I, like, generally let on, but my generally, like, current normal speaking voice is like this. And then it goes, like, up and down, but I don't have, like, a cute voice. I have a really dark, unhinged sense of humor. I'm not just saying that, like, in the this Bork Doom kind of way, but, like, I'm saying that and I grew up watching raunchy movies kind of way. And if I had, like, a cute baby voice, I would do that kind of, like, I'm a toddler that cusses kind of humor. But I'm not a toddler that cusses. I can't do that. That's not the kind of thing that I could do. But there are people who, like, oh, I'm gonna say a curse word, and it's a joke. The whole joke is that a small little gremlin is saying it. I mean, it's so much better when you're tiny and feisty. Most of the cute voice, that's true. That's true. Most of the cute voice people are working at it. They're working hard at it. They're not just like, yeah. Like Snuffy's a good example, right? Like Snuffy used to do like a squeaky voice back when she was first getting started. She did like a high-pitched, like cutesy voice. And then eventually Snuffy was like, this is not what I sound like. I sound like this. And her voice is like more in the range where mine is, like it's a lower voice. And people were like, holy shit, you have a mommy voice? What the fuck? And then she could just get away with using her real voice from now on, which is good, which is a happy end. She didn't have to get throat surgery. But you do have a point. And I'm not saying that even that it's like a fake voice. I think Fauna talked about this. Or, sorry, Nimmy. Nimmy talked about this. Like, Nimmy talked about, like, you know, it's not really that this isn't my real voice. It's just that it's a practiced, like, more, it's a sustainable, like, more performance voice than I would typically use. Mommy voice and mature voice? Yeah, an adult woman's voice. Well, I think your real voice comes out more when you sing, just because you're using like your vocal muscles like deeper into your chest. And especially if you have to hit like certain high notes, your voice is going to come out differently when you sing. Or hitting low notes if your voice is going to come out differently. Because I can hit high notes if I like swap to like a more princessy sounding voice, but it's like trying to reactivate an old muscle that I don't exercise as much as I used to. Like I can do like a Disney princess voice when I'm singing, but it's like, oh my god, I forgot how to do this. Because I used to sing soprano, which is like crazy to say now. People are like, really? Yeah, I was like a soprano. Like I could sing really high. And I still can, like if I work. Yeah, there's other people who can hit every voice. Like Elizabeth is a good example. Liz can sing any note. High, low. She can mimic other people's voices to like an astonishing degree. It's magic. I don't know how you hear well enough to be able to speak that way, because like learning how to do that with your voice is more about hearing than it is about speaking, right? Like, I just don't know how she does it. It's crazy. It's such an amazing talent. So, you know, there's so many good creative people out there. Twitch is doing ads, but they're almost done, so I'm just gonna like let them run out for a second. This has been good. It's been good to let people vent and to chit chat a little bit and to talk about things of the day. You know, I want to talk about difficult things sometimes because I want people to feel like they can bring up difficult things here and not have them be dismissed. But at the same time, like I make a lot of jokes. So if I ever come across as like lolling at something that's actually difficult and challenging, like just know that I mean well. I just sort of cover it up with my own dumb sense of humor because this is what I want to make. Like I have this observational sense of like, oh, that reminds me of this other thing, and I'll just go on a wild tangent related to cartoons as opposed to like the real world and what people are dealing with. So but I think that with what has happened over this last week, everybody is gonna be able to move forward, except for the like, I don't know, Cinder's probably not gonna work in this town ever again, just because of how she handled the situation. But the people who like have their brands and know what they're doing, they may have to, you know, come to terms with the fact that things are different from how they thought, but I think they'll still be able to do stuff and create stuff. And like when I'm watching other people debut and they've got new adventures they're starting out on, they're coming into a very different landscape than I was coming into in 2020 when I started, and then 2023 when I rebranded. Coming into VTubing now is different. There's more obstacles. There's more challenges. It can be really exhausting to keep up with what is the right thing to do. And like, for example, you know, people were mad about the candle joke, but I'm still doing a branded candle, like, because people, you know, are maybe a boycott, but like, and the other thing, like, people are boycotting Microsoft right now, which is like, because, you know, of political reasons, I will just say, because of, you know, their impact. Yeah, it's, I'm gonna say this as coherently as I can. I don't think boycotting Microsoft as a consumer does shit. You do it if you want. Do it if it's in your heart. Do it if it's what your heart tells you to do because you feel it's the right thing to do. But as a person, individual person, and you don't buy the Oblivion remaster for political reasons, your impact on their bottom line is very minimal. I don't really know that that's an effective form of protest. But I'm not playing Oblivion remaster. I'm gonna say this like with my whole heart. I'm not playing it not because I'm boycotting. I'm just not playing it because I don't have time. I have too many games on my plate right now, and I decided not to pivot and add that to my games, so I didn't buy it. If it is your personal belief that you should boycott the game because you don't think that you want to support Microsoft right now, that is your business. But I do not like it when people come into other people's streams and yell at them for what game they're playing. I think that is gross behavior and you should undo it. So for people who are out there who are like, you should be boycotting Microsoft right now, you shouldn't be playing Oblivion. Guys, don't harass streamers for not doing it. Just don't. This is like a rude thing to do. Because I don't think that it has like a strong impact on their bottom line. That is just my opinion. Now, do I want the hot potato? No, I don't want the hot potato. But on the other hand, like, I'm not playing it right now because I'm not playing it right now. It has nothing to do with the politics of it. I just don't want to play it right now. But I do think that people come out there and are like, no, you can't play that because of the reasons. NFTs came out and Kazuna, I did an NFT thing with NFTs. Okay, so NFTs, okay, I'm gonna say another thing. Now we're at that part of the stream. NFTs were always a scam. Always. That was never gonna work, guys. I'm so sorry. But if you got scammed on NFTs, you're trans, you don't care. All the gamer people are it's an imaginary enemy. Yeah, I mean, I think that is true. I absolutely think that is true. First of all, you know, I said this on Twitter. I said this on Blue Sky. If you're LGBT, I want you to feel comfortable and safe here. I have so many trans friends, so many queer friends. When I went, and I'm cis, like just full disclosure there. But like, I like both genders, I guess you could say. I don't like labels. And that's a privileged thing for me to be able to say because, you know, whatever. But if anybody has to, whatever label they choose for themselves is fine. If you identify a certain way and that's who you want to be, you be that person. I chose to be a VTuber. And that's a choice of identity that I made for myself. And I think all you need to do is like respect people's choice, right? Or respect people's identity in particular lives. Like, not like being gay isn't a choice, but I mean like people's lifestyles. I just think be respectful. Like, it's none of your fucking business what people love, who people love, or who they care about. Just like give them rights. Just give everybody rights. I think it's ridiculous to make that much of a like. Again, it's privileged to me to say that. Like, this is me, like, talking, like, super lefty right now, but I think a lot of VTubers don't, like, talk, like, super lefty. There is a certain category of VTuber that their very existence on the platform they're on is, quote-unquote, political. And it shouldn't have to be, because it's just a human being. But I do think that there is too much polarization, like, in video gaming, where you gotta be on one side or the other side. One side or the other side. Oh my god, VTubing, stop! VTubing, stop right now! Basically, in games, it's like, I can pick fun of boring games that I think are dumb, regardless of who made them. I just have taste, okay? I just have taste. I just like games. Yes, exactly. People just miss out on fun games because they're freaking out over nothing. They'll be like, "Oh my god, they edited something to be like slightly different, and now I'm really mad about it, and I'm not gonna play it because I'm just like, do you even like video games, bro? Like, do you even like video games? They added 2 inches of fabric. Like, I get it, you didn't want the 2 inches of fabric, but like, is it really gonna impact your experience that much when there's skimpier outfits in the game that you can wear if you need to or whatever? I don't know. Like, that's a whole thing. I've talked about it before, but I get why people get freaked out about little changes, but like, if stuff is being developed and is not finished and then they change it from the pre-release, I feel like that's such a small thing to freak out about that you may as well not miss out on whatever it is that you want to play. Like, oh, they changed a character's name or something, right? That's the same kind of change. Like, as an example, South of Midnight. Let's talk about South of Midnight. The protagonist of South of Midnight is a black lady. At one point, a placeholder asset was used that did not have a texture on it. And they're like, oh, they changed her race. I'm pretty sure they frickin' didn't, guys. I'm pretty sure they just had a placeholder asset that was not even a colored at all. Like, they're gray. Because when you first drop an asset into a game, it's gray. It's not colored. And they were like, well, that was supposed to be a white lady because her nose is different. And I'm like, this is such a nitpicky complaint to make. Like, it was a placeholder asset. And then they decided on a final look for the protagonist. Can you guys chill? Do you know how games are developed? Stuff gets changed in development process. It wasn't like they race swapped her. It was just that she was a placeholder and they decided on the final look. It's simple. I love sexy clothes in games. I am one of the people that like gets mad when people complain about boob armor. Well, boob plate. I mean, obviously, look at my avatar. I want to look like this in a game. This is what I like. When somebody's like, well, boob plate's not realistic. I don't give a shit if it's realistic. There's a dragon. Let me wear the boob plate. So yeah, I'm with you on that. I think that the outrage over Stellar Blade was stupid though, because when I actually played the game, there's skimpier outfits than the ones that they added like the little bit of fabric to. They added like a couple inches of fabric to it, but like there's skimpier outfits in the game, and like they basically did like an apology, like, listen, we're gonna release new. Yeah, I don't care if there's boob plate. Yeah, it's a video game. It's pretend. It's pretendy. It's pretendy. You can wear a boob plate. The people always are like, they're like, oh, well, but if you had a metal piece in between your boobs, then they would swing a sword and it would cut your sternum in half. It's not very practical. And I'm like, that man is in a thong. Let me wear a boob plate. It's not. It doesn't have to be realistic. Where the argument makes sense is if the art style is not consistent. So if you were playing like Halo and the Master Chief is in this geared up, this full gear, and I mean, I used to watch Red versus Blue, right? So Tex is lady. Well, verse did not the cop to being a lady. The whole bit is like, what's your gender? What's in your pants? Evil, right? But like wearing armor, like full armor. Everybody's wearing armor, even their space marines, it doesn't fucking matter. They don't have gendered armor. But then Cortana is like a computer lady, so she can be naked, it doesn't have to be fucking realistic, it just looks cool. I have magic boobs. Exactly. I have magic boobs. It just depends on the art style. It needs to be consistent. It needs to be consistent with the world of the game. So if people wear like over-the-top fantasy armor in your world, then people wear over-the-top fantasy armor in your world. If people wear, I think the men should be sexualized too. Like, I'm all about that. Like, if people wear like sexy, like Marvel Rivals is doing it, right? They're like, let's give the men bigger asses because we want to make sure there's something for the man likers to enjoy. You know, like just make it fun for everybody. Don't make it boring. So I have, not that I know her or anything, but like I have beef with Anita Sarkeesian about this because like this is the kind of thing she would say where it's like, having characters that look hot and sexy just isn't realistic. And it's like, yeah, but it's a fantasy world where I want to look hot and sexy, and I don't care if I look realistic. I wanted to play Final Fantasy 14 when they added rabbit women because rabbit women are hot. Right? And I don't think that's a bad thing. I think it's cool. But that doesn't mean that I don't want, like, other people to be included. That doesn't mean that I don't want other people to be included in the space. When I say, like, I like it when the characters look sexy in games, I'm not saying that every single game has to look the same. Like, if you're complaining that the characters in Elder Scrolls, well, yeah, that's it too. Like, women want to look hot too. Most women, I think this is like, there's a certain subsegment of women that really, really, really get bummed out and offended when they see like hot, sexy girls in games because they just feel like it's setting a realistic standard. And I get it, I understand it. Maybe you have body dysmorphia, maybe you have issues with. I understand, I get it, I totally get it. I think the majority of people want to look cool, attractive, or silly. Really, like sexy, funny, cute. They want to have something good like going for their character. They don't want to look bland, is what I'm saying. They don't want to look boring. They want to look exciting. They want to look neat. They want to have something going. Maybe it's just silly. Like, people make really ugly characters all the time. Power does this. Like, makes the ugliest, weirdest looking shit, you know? And, like, that's fine. That's funny. Do that. To make your funny looking weird character. City of Heroes was great for that because you could make the most fucked up looking dudes. Like, I made, like, a fish man. Like, it's just fun to do, right? But making, like, hot characters is kind of something people like. They really want to see themselves in the character, and they want to have, like, a beautiful person to play as. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I also don't think it's that fucking weird. I think it's normal. Like, it's like a dress-up game. Like, Final Fantasy is about the fashion. It's about the glam. People want to look cool. So, like, I don't think it's true that people... But I do not think that every single game has to have the same art style. Like, if you're playing Elder Scrolls... The characters look kind of... They don't look good. They look grimy. They look weird. Their faces are kind of lumpy. But everybody in the game looks that way. So it's not like you're being denied something that hasn't been in the game before. Like, oh, we made... The games have always had, like, kind of weird, lumpy looking people. Like, the hottest person in Skyrim is Lydia because she has, like, a little bit of eyeliner on. But the world is not, like, a makeup glam world. Yeah, grungy. It's like a dirtier, like more medieval peasant kind of look, right? So the characters support that. I think the face models in Oblivion have always looked kind of doofy, personally. But I don't think it's like a change to be like, oh, we're gonna make them more doofy looking. Like, I think they just do that, you know? The men were exaggeratedly hot as the female characters. Yeah, because that's the way it should be. Like, if you're gonna make like a world that has a consistent look, like, keep it consistent. And I don't think most games... I have not seen a lot of games fuck this up in recent memory. I think there's some games in the past that have made, like, very big disparity between the male and female armor. But I think, like, in the current era, for quote-unquote modern audience, I'm like, joke about the people in Gamergate are like, oh, modern audience. But yeah, modern audience is real. There's normal people playing video games. But, like... Mommy, they're really hot. You know, do whatever you want with your fucking mods. I don't care. Mods, I'm not gonna kink shame you for your mods. Especially since if you don't like the way a game looks and you just want to mod it, just go for it and fucking make it my business. But, like, yeah. Fallout's another great example because it's the same company, it's Bethesda. Fallout characters, by default, they look like they're in the post-apocalypse. They don't look like supermodels because they're in the fucking post-apocalypse. What do you want from them? They're in jumpsuits and robot outfits and they're not putting on makeup and doing their hair every day. They're gonna have shaved heads because it's the post-apocalypse. It's with the art style works for the game that it's in. And that, not everybody in every game has to look like a supermodel because sometimes you're telling a different story. But if you need that for whatever reason, mod the game. I can find a way to look cool in almost any, except for Street Fighter 6. You can't make a cool looking character in Street Fighter 6. I've tried. But I can find a way to look cool in, like, most games. Like, because you can look cool in a post-apocalypse kind of way, right? You have a shaved head, you can have a mohawk, you can Mad Max your ass out. It's great. You can do whatever you want. I thought I ended up making, like, a pretty cool New Vegas character. But I can't remember what she looked like. But I think I made a pretty cool character. I'm going to scroll back because Patrick said something about NFTs. And I wanted to talk about NFTs. NFTs were always a scam as an investment tradable access was logical for things like... Yeah. So I want to talk about that for a little bit because, like... I've never been into cryptocurrency. It is an asset that people trade. And NFTs are an asset people trade. But I know it's been going around lately that anybody who bought certain NFTs from Cloudflare, those NFTs from the host are gone because the way that technology works, unless the image is very, very, very small, it does not actually get stored on the blockchain. The blockchain is a non-relational database, okay? Like this, I'm actually an engineer. The blockchain is a non-relational database. It's basically all the data in a line, which is why it's called the blockchain. And the actual thing was not stored in that database for the most part. It is possible. You can't make a cool character, but you can make an absolute freak. Yeah, even the character I tried to make look like me, like, doesn't. She looks freaky. She looks weird. I don't think they did a good job with that character creator. I just want to play the real characters who actually look cool. Chun-Li looks cool. Will never not look cool. She's in my background. So they don't store the image in the blockchain. It's not stored. They store a link, like a URL. And if you know anything about websites, websites disappear all the time because they're hosted on somebody else's computer. So you weren't ever buying anything. You were buying a link to a site that could have gone away at any time. And there's a lot of things that we don't really buy, we rent. So like if you buy a game off of Steam, technically you're buying a link to download that game from their servers to your computer. But if Steam were to vanish tomorrow, you might not be able to get your games. That's a risk that we've all kind of collectively taken because it's the easiest way to buy and download games. But if you buy DRM free, you can store them on your hard drive or whatever. I always back up a Steam game before I uninstall it just because I'm a paranoid like that. But with NFTs, yeah, it's not even about, exactly, it's not about having the resource. It's about saying you can own it. So somebody compared it to like, say you went to the Louvre and the Mona Lisa's on the wall, and somebody points at that and says, you own that now. Oh, do I get to take it home with me? No. All you get is this piece of paper saying that you own it. Take that. But can I take it? No, you can't. It's not, you can't move it from where it is. But here's a piece of paper saying that you own it. Well, how do I prove that I own it? Well, you have this piece of paper. You could sell it to somebody else if you wanted, but it's not yours. You can't leave, it can't be taken with you. So that's what NFTs are, essentially. They're like a document, a contract, but they would have it to have it. So pretty much everybody who bought one of those, with some small exception, but pretty much everybody who bought one of those bought it to sell it because they thought it would go up in value, not because they wanted the art, because you could have easily just downloaded the art. I have a meme folder full of memes. I just right click and save as the meme folder. I don't own the memes, but I also don't not own them because they're in my folder now. You're getting a license to play, which is why I never played before. Yeah, exactly. You're getting a license. You're licensing you're borrowing the game from them, essentially. So it's one of those situations where technically you don't technically own that, but it's sort of a thing we've kind of all agreed to deal with. It took a couple years for NFTs to collapse. Yeah. Or a star. Yeah. When you buy a star, you don't own that. That is exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. It's just like buying a star. Like, oh, it's so romantic. You bought me a star. Great. I can't touch it. I can't go out there and fly to take it away. And also with the stars, that's such a scam because they'll sell the same star, quote unquote, multiple times to different people because how'd you know? Right? The star thing's a total scam. Because they'll just sell it to you again. They'll be like, oh yeah, we'll sell you another star. Ooh, this one now. You can't see it. You have to use a telescope to see it. You own that one. Nobody can sell it. I did a stream? Well, welcome. I'm just talking about stuff. We're talking about scams. We're talking about VTubing. We're talking about... We were talking about video games earlier. We're talking about making hot characters in video games. I'm a big video gamer, so... Play a lot of video games. Play a lot of weird video games, horror games, retro games. On Thursday, I'm going to be doing Look Outside. That will be on this channel, by the way. I will be streaming that on this channel, so you have to, slide by if you want to see Look Outside. Look Outside is a dark horror game. Well, it's gory, I guess I would say. Not so much psychological horror, but just like body horror. Like it's bloody. But if that's your thing, then you're home here. I would do the same thing with the third world children, probably. The Star Registry isn't nationally recognized. You're buying a piece of paper for a name that only exists in database. Yes, that's right. That's right. Most of us are a bit saddened to this year and it's not even halfway through. Yes. There's so many things that have happened. I think I originally started, I wanted to talk about the Sinder situation. But it swiftly drifted to let's talk about good things. Let's talk about the good times. Let's all get cheered up again. I've got Guba and Mume on my background there because I wanted to be positive and talk about listen, it's a little bit sad that they're retiring. Mume probably for sure. Gura probably coming back. But remember the good days. The VODs will be there. You'll still have all those good memories. And nothing lasts forever. Certainly not NFTs. But like nothing lasts forever. Like the people in your life that you meet will be in your heart forever. But they may not be in front of you forever. And nobody knows that like quite like a vampire, because, you know, you gotta see people come and go out of your life all the time. Eventually you get a little hardened to it, but at the same time, it doesn't ever go away. The things that made you happy will still make you happy. And if you feel like you got scammed by Sinder because she seemed like a nice person and it was kind of cruel what she did to her friends, I don't necessarily think that those positive interactions you might have had or the fond memories that you have are invalidated by that. I feel that if you felt good about it at the time, then it made you happy, then you can still hold on to that part that kind of made you happy. It's tricky because there's a lot of situations where you will like something and then find out later that maybe the creator was not a good person, or the creator will do something that you thought was bad and you'll be like, oh, wait a minute, I like their other thing, but I don't like this thing. Or, you know, and that's why a lot of people try to like death of the author stuff and try to separate the art from the artist and all that stuff, because people will let you down. Meeting your heroes can be difficult. If you're fortunate enough to basically never guess wrong on a creator, then I envy you, because, you know, let's just, you know, pick something at random. Like, I used to watch Firefly, and then, like, people are like, oh, Joss Whedon's actually a creep. And I'm like, you know what? I guess I kind of figured that out from his work, but, like, now when I watch Firefly, it's kind of tainted with that information, right? Like, oh, I mean, I did like the show, but yeah, okay. Creators are people, exactly. And people are fallible. People make mistakes. Someone with trauma don't like good things. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, exactly. Someone with trauma don't let good things become part of your trauma. Understand bad people can do good things. And you have to be able to, you know, even if something is a big part of your personality and you really, really, really liked it, what did Joss Whedon do? He's a creep. Like, that's the short answer. It's such an old, it's so old at this point that it's like barely worth talking about. But I'm pretty sure like some of the women who worked with him came out later and said that he was pretty much like a sex pest to them. Which, if you think about it, maybe isn't that much of a shock, because like if you see some of his later work, particularly like Dollhouse, his attitudes toward women were not exactly the best. But I mean, you can watch Firefly and still like enjoy the show for what it is, and maybe be like, oh yeah, there's some problematic stuff. And like, I don't even like the word problematic. It feels so like annoying to say. But hi, Ruka. How's it going? Hey, do we want to eat canned? Now that I've gotten heavy again. Jeremy Sewell. Oh my God, yeah, that's another really good example. God, I love that theme from Morrowind, dude. It's such a good song. When I sang the Skyrim song on my karaoke stream, and I love that song, but womp womp. Not the good kind of womp womp. I will still sing the Skyrim song. It was written by Hatsune Miku. You guys, I'm gonna tell you one more story of being a vampire. I'm a vampire whose special interest is video games, and cartoons, but mostly video games. So I've actually like met a lot of people in the game industry, and I did once party with Notch. I don't know what Notch did, because Hatsune Miku invented Minecraft, but but in my defense, it was before he sold Minecraft, so, you know. That's another example of like a creator a lot of people have soured on, to put it mildly. And like, maybe you haven't. Maybe you think Notch is based. I don't know. I'm not. But like, a lot of people are like, there's people who have been difficult to work with for people, I guess. I've never been to his. I make jokes about his candy mansion. Artists are really screwed up people. Don't need any favorite artists who just wanted. I will tell you that I finally got to meet John Waters, and he's based and will always be based and can do no wrong. So, yeah, Notch turned out to be kind of an a-hole. I have candy. I'm going to eat. I have a peanut butter cup with strawberry, and I have a peanut butter cup with grape. Okay, that's actually a perfect segue, because did you know that Notch bought a manor with an entire candy kitchen in it? Have you ever seen pictures of Notch's house? I've not been inside Notch's house, but I know people that have been inside Notch's house. It's full. It's got a whole candy room. I don't know what happened to the candy room. I don't know what became of it. I don't think it would have kept. Who could possibly eat that much candy? I would have a gym. I would have a gym. Longevity of VTubing industry. He outbid Beyonce. That's correct. It was Beyonce was bidding on the same mansion. True story. Hey, Power, how's it going? We were talking about you earlier, because of course we were. Because I was talking about how you were the one that got me in the VTubing rabbit hole by sending me extremely targeted clips of Hachima, who you knew I would like, because Hachima. Though she did eat a spider. But that's okay, because spiders also eat other spiders. It's just a thing we do. I think VTubing is here to stay. Yeah, not 1% problems. I didn't get to mention the candy room because of this other mention. I think VTubing is real and is my friend. But I do think VTubing is going to change. I think it's going to change. Firstly, over 50% of VTubers stop streaming within the 3-year mark, and of those who failed, the median lifespan is 19 months. Well, I'm already beating the time. Well, no, not technically. On this avatar, I've only been streaming for 2023. So I'm going on my 2nd year. I've had 1 anniversary so far. Less than 2 years. Yeah, no, longevity is probably correct. Stick-to-itiveness, I don't know. That statistic to me feels like not necessarily VTubing. It feels like any creative endeavor that is challenging and requires commitment. More than 50% of the people who start guitar lessons stop taking guitar lessons, right? More than 50% of the people who who buy a gym membership stop going to the gym. Like, anything that you decide that you're going to do that's hard, you might drop out. There might be something that you choose not to continue to pursue because maybe it does not work for you. Maybe you're just not enjoying it. Maybe you don't like content creators as much. I've seen so many VTubers that start VTubing and have no fucking idea, sorry for my language, but not really, because I'm a cuss bunny, what content they're gonna do. Like, what am I streaming? How do you not know? Do you not know what you like to do? Like, I'm just chatting because I'm good at babbling because I used to be a teacher and I like to talk, and I don't think I could be stopped from talking. Like, I cannot be shut the fuck up, right? But like, people aren't good at yapping, aren't good at games, aren't good at music, and they want to be a VTuber. And I don't think there's anything wrong with not being good at something. Like Jake the dog says, being bad at something is a first step toward being good at something. Like, please, like, do your best at whatever you choose to do. But like, choose to do it. Do it. Student moral compass to guide her normal way of succeeding. Yeah, you know what? That's true too. It's not even, it's because she wanted to copy other people's success. And then when she got like, maybe, I don't know, I'm not going to project on Sinder. I've read the story. I know what happened, but it feels like to me she was insecure in her position. And what she wanted to do was to make sure that nobody could follow behind her. And then what you do is you do what they call pulling the ladder up behind you. Instead of being like, come with me, we're going to lift each other up, and we're going to be, you know, basically just using the person above you as the next stepstone and kicking the person below you. And that is no way to be. People will not want to be around you if they find out that you're that kind of person. Even if it takes longer to be a success, even if it takes longer to find your audience, even if it takes longer to find your voice, Do not kick the people behind you down. Charitable interpretation? Oh, I mean, yeah, that's fair. That's my charitable interpretation is that she was insecure and wanted to kick people below her down the ladder. That's my charitable interpretation. This is not very charitable in my opinion, like, but I think that's literally like what the plan was. Like, now that I'm here, I don't want anyone coming up behind me and, you know, overtaking my success in this space, which is kind of crazy because, like, really, what was her space? Just chatting streams. I mean, there's always going to be other people doing just chatting streams. I watched Buff Puff's stream about it, yeah. Buff Puff was pissed. I mean, she was very level about it at the same time, but very, like, you know, rational, but yes, very disappointed. Was it a vampire high VTuber? I mean, do it. Like, everybody's inspired. Everybody's inspired by something. I mean, my inspirations were more, like, eclectic, and I think, like, the more different inspirations you use to put your idea together, like, the less it'll feel like copying from somebody. So, like, I had a bunch of different things. Like, when I was first designing my outfit, I was like, I want Elvira, but you know what I'm saying? How much is performative anger? I mean, I don't know. Some of it, maybe. I don't think if you were, like, personally affronted, then maybe you don't have that rage. Like, I personally don't have rage about it because it didn't impact me, but, like, I know people did, for sure, feel disappointed and mad about it. And I think that's legitimate. Because I think our fans felt legitimately let down by it. Yeah, you can see how she felt. Yeah, basically. Various people do a lot of weird things. Yeah, it does. I do think a lot of it was fear. I do think a lot of it was feeling, you know, you've not seen. I mean, there's lots of PinkTubers out there. I personally, like, I think PinkTubers are valid. But I've always, like, if somebody says I'm a VTuber and then they are a PinkTuber, I don't think of them as, like, how to put this? I don't think of them as not a streamer. They're obviously streaming. They're obviously making content. But it's like, are you committed enough to the bit to buy a full model? And maybe it takes you a long time to get there. Like, not everybody has the resources to pull that together. So as long as you're making content, I feel like you're cool, you know? It takes a lot of work to get this shit put together. Now, will I say, like, if somebody says I'm a VTuber and then they're a PinkTuber, I kind of am like, you know, Patware, for example, is a PinkTuber, right? But Patware and I have talked about this. You and I have talked about this, and you're like, yeah, it's not done yet. That's, you know, it's not done. You know that there's more growing and climbing to do, right? We both know that. Like, there's, I think things can happen in increments, in steps. It doesn't have to be like the big debut. But if you want the full, like, stream, sometimes you gotta work for it. This is a lot of work, you know? Maybe we should revoke human rights and not, yeah, there we go. No human rights. You have to have 3D or live 2D. PinkTubing. There's actually some really good PinkTubers. Like, joking aside, there's there's that one that's like a claymation where it's like all stop motion and it's all done with PinkTubing. It's actually really, really clever, technically done. It's like slow and it's like choppy, but the one thing that I personally, okay, I'm gonna say some PinkTuber, like PNG, yeah. I still think they're good. I still think they're content creators, but I do think that there's like a difference between a PinkTuber and a VTuber in terms of like how far you are along in your process. And if you're like always going to be a PinkTuber, like that's fine because you can do some really clever stuff with it. But there's like a spectrum, right? Like there's like really, really detailed PinkTubers that are basically VTuber. I don't know. It's like there's a spectrum. It's not like black and white. But the thing that I will say that is like VTweeters. Like, people who say I'm a VTuber but don't make content, Come on, guys. Get brave and make content. Just do it. Get over your fear of it not being perfect, because the VTweeter is the most common, like, again, I'm gonna pick on other people without trying it myself kind of vibes, right? So sorry if that pisses anybody off. I don't think anybody will be pissed off from me saying that in this stream. Like, I don't think anybody in the stream is gonna be like, no, VTweeters are valid. But I mean, like, but like, they're real people and they have real opinions, but they're not content creators. You have to make stuff. You have to try. You have to put yourself out there. You cannot just exist to tear other people down. Which is a lot of what I see. I mean, I'm sitting here like just babbling. This is not like the highest level of my content, but like, you try stuff. You get brave. You get bold. Like, the heck is a VTweeter? Somebody who like calls themselves a VTuber but doesn't actually VTube, I guess is the best way to explain it. Like, they'll go on social media and basically just say like, I'm getting involved in this, but I'm not actually making content. I know lots of lovely people who are very early in their journey as a VTuber, and they're just using like a ping, or they're just using like a, you know, a art of their character that they're eventually gonna have finished or whatever. But they're streaming, or they're making videos, or they're singing, or they're making music. They're doing something. They're making content. But sometimes there's people who only want to make trouble. I don't even think necessarily pre-debut, because there's people who have pre-debut and then they go on and debut, which is fine. But if you're not actually going to debut, I don't know. I've also seen people who, this isn't limited to like people who are going to become VTubers. I've seen people who just like create argument sona, and then they just get into arguments with their argument sona. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what you're doing. What are you doing? Do you know what I'm talking about? It's such a petty thing to say, I guess, but this is my argument sona. I use this person to say things when I don't want to be held accountable for saying them. Yeah, people who have pre-debut eternally. They did that, but there's a difference between somebody who's getting ready to make content, and again, if you're doing it with a ping, they make content. What, it doesn't matter. But it's fair to say that like, if you're not actually going to make content, don't string people along, right? Yeah, don't string people along. Like, I don't know. It's harder to make content and get out there and play games and do streams and babble on chat than it is to just say you're going to eventually do that. But I also think that some of those folks are just younger people who maybe don't necessarily know what kind of brand they want to do. They just want to be part of the fun. So I won't judge them too harshly. But, you know, if you're a whole adult, then, you know, maybe you're like a minor, right? And you don't want to be like part of a community because you're too afraid. Like, that I could understand. But once you're like a grown up, make your decision about what you're gonna do and do it. Don't be a chicken about it. Do it, even if it takes steps. Yeah, exactly. We all did stupid shit as kids on the internet, but Lord knows. My internet drama of my younger days was super, super young. So super early internet where stuff wasn't necessarily archived the way it is now. But you can make a pretty bad post these days and it doesn't go away the way it used to. All that shit on AOL is dust in the wind. but you know, some of this shit on Twitter, you can delete tweets, but people can screenshot them. You gotta be a lot more careful these days. That and like, yeah, just things. People are like, if you put it on the internet, it's there forever now. Yeah, if you put it on the internet now, it's there forever. Whereas back in the day, not necessarily. I mean, some stuff does get deleted. Like Discord is gonna be pretty ephemeral. You know, don't put anything on Discord that you want to keep forever because that shit can be vanished in a minute. But on the other hand, what you say on Discord is in writing. So if you're saying something that's going to look sus in a screenshot 2 years from now, Sinder's manager, maybe don't say that shit. Oh, people do not have filters. You know what I mean? And then they'll just say stuff and not realize that they're being screenshotted. It's scary. You know what you do, what you say can be held against you. And if you're doing some shady shit, then it's gonna come back and bite you in the ass. Everything you do now will almost mean nothing in the large scheme of things in the eyes of eternity. That's very true. That's very true. We are all on a pale blue dot, as the great Carl Sagan would say. But what you do has an impact on the people around you. Maybe in ways you cannot understand. Maybe you post something, and later on down the line, you... Sinder's man. Yeah, right. Your quote-unquote man. What did your man say? Maybe you affect people in ways you don't know. Maybe somebody reads your post and they go, wow, that gives me an idea to do something. And then you inspire them and they don't even know it. Maybe they don't even know. Like, it's great when you can tell somebody that they did that for you, but there's going to be times when you don't get to meet the person that inspired you. And there's going to be times as a person when you don't find out that you inspired somebody. Is that creepy to think about? You go on your life and somebody will say years later that I was inspired by this person, and you might never realize it's you. Hi, how are you? Welcome. We're having deep thoughts now. This is like a deep thoughts conversation. I feel like this got deep. I was going to eat candy, but then I just kept talking because I cannot be stopped from yapping. I'm the yap queen. Every time I decide I'm going to do a chatting stream, it's like 4 freaking hours. I'm going to blow my throat out by the end of this. Whew. It's always lucky when you get to meet... I was always lucky when you get to meet the people who inspire you. Like I said, I met John Waters. You guys know who John Waters is? He's a director of movies. You should look up his films. They're fun for the whole family. This is what I was trying to supercriticism. It involves you of all responsibility. I'm incapable of altering the future. It's all predetermined. You know, I don't think they teach you anything before becoming a celebrity. That's the amazing thing. I think you just stumble into it. I think you just stumble into being a celebrity. I don't think anybody sits you down and is like, now that you're a celebrity, you have a responsibility to be a good role model. Because first of all, how many celebrities are good role models? Not that many, right? I mean, there's some, but you don't know. And you might meet them later and be like, oh my God, they were lovely. They were a genius. They were awesome. And you might meet them later and be like, oh wow, they were never not what I expected. I don't know. You never know, right? Was I a theater kid? I was a theater kid. But, and this is true, when I was in school, so I'm like breaking the kayfabe, but when I was in school, I never got good parts in the play. So I ended up going behind the scenes. Even though I was pretty outgoing, pretty loud, have a good singing voice, and I think I'm okay at acting. But I finally asked my teacher why I never got good parts. and what he said to me was, well, you just have a very mature look that doesn't always work for every role. And that was when I realized he meant my boobs were too big to get good parts. And that's why that's how I became a VTuber story. Oh God. It's actually true. It's actually a true story. I was so fucking embarrassed too. I was like, what? Huh? I was under the impression from anime that bigger was better. Anime lied to me. Anime told me a falsehood. What do you mean? Yeah, that's really it's just the anime lad. So that was what held me back as an actress. I was just not able to get good parts because I looked like too much of a hoe. So I would always get like cast as mom or bimbo, but never like main character. I didn't have main character energy. But I needed to pick out a play where I could be like a villainess or something. But that never happened. We vibe well. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for being here. You do become able to buy your crypto? You should do that. You should create a too early for Queen Barrel. Oh my god. I do voice acting. I have tried to do voice acting. I took some anime Lita's dreams died. Have you tried for roles like that woman killed? No. This is school. This was school. This was high school and like college theater. Yeah, but not. Yeah, I eventually ended up like I'm just gonna be a behind the scenes person because nobody can ever like discriminate against me like that when I'm behind the scenes. But I didn't like do acting. Voice acting I have tried ish. I took some classes. Voice acting, it is like somebody asked me. Was it Metalord asked me like, what's your dream? Like, I would love to voice a video game character someday. But it's really hard to break in. Really hard to break in. You have to do so many auditions for things until you build like a reel. And like, I feel like I could hire somebody to like help me make an acting reel and like do a demo and like everything. I just don't have the energy for that right now with everything else that I'm doing in my life. So, but if people have voice acting projects and they think my voice would be a match for it, like, let me know. I should probably do like more voice acting on the stream, like pick a game that has a bunch of different characters on it. But we're gonna do Monster Con in 2 weeks. And that's a fun one to voice act. So stay tuned for that. We'll do Monster Con. Monster Con is like Monster Prime, it's the new one. Multiple indies projects that are fun. That sounds like fun. I mean, yeah, if you have any leads on, let me know. I had a casting call profile for a little while, and then what happened was my old Discord I lost my old Discord, so I had to remake my Discord, and I lost access to like a lot of those channels, and I was like, yeah, maybe it wasn't meant to be, but it may be something I'll get back into. I do have like a song cover that's taking forever because I'm waiting on art, but I'm not gonna go into it right now. Just like, you know, at some point I'm gonna post a song cover someday. And be careful if you inspire as we were taught, just like you know how you pass on that lesson. Yeah, exactly. Because you might never know. You might never know. The first time that I became aware of that was when I was like the Game Developers Conference. Because the game developers will talk so humbly, especially Japanese game developers. They'll speak so humbly about their work. Like, I never thought that this was going to be a thing. I never thought that this was going to be important, right? This was just a toy that I was making. And the fact that it was so meaningful to all of you really, really shocks and surprises me. And, like, it was so beautiful to go to MagFest one year. And the composer for Mega Man 2 was there, okay? Now, if you know anything about retro games, Mega Man 2 has one of the banger soundtracks of all time, right? And they had no idea what a following they had in the United States and that this music had like touched and inspired so many people with silly video game music, you know? And he was just like stunned because people were just so thrilled to be listening. And like, you mean rock bands are covering these songs that I wrote for this video game? Like, it was an amazing experience to watch him experience that and to realize for the first time that like people love your work on a level you never could have thought was possible. It's so inspiring to see that. Like, yeah, but he did not know that it was as popular as it was, right? So it's like to be there. I got a chance to talk to the Mega Man 2 composer only speaks Japanese, but David Wise was also there, who did Donkey Kong. Which is really cool. MagFest is such a time. MagFest is such a great show. If you ever get a chance to go to MagFest, it's amazing. Yeah. It's also crazy to think about chipping painting. It is crazy, but people get so inspired by that stuff. I didn't know what to say. I was like, you know what? You're my young nephew's favorite because he was like playing Donkey Kong all the time. So I kind of had something to say, but sometimes I get a little like starstruck when I meet cool people because it just can't be helped. But yeah, he was chill. He was chill. It's important. It's important to think about who you one-ups on the Aussie Rig set. Oh, that's awesome. That's so great. I haven't gone to MagFest in a couple years, just because, like, for one thing, cons have relaxed their COVID restrictions a little bit, and I've gotten COVID twice now at cons, so I just don't like having COVID. It's not fun, so I'd like to avoid that. But MagFest, some people did, but I didn't get it at MagFest. But they moved the date. The real reason I haven't gone is they moved the date. It used to be earlier in the year, and it was way easier to get off work, and now it's, like, later in the month. It's, like, the end of January, and it's, like, you made it hard to go. Now I have to, like, plan. It's supposed to just, like, hey, my Christmas vacation lasts 3 extra days, so I can go to MagFest. It's more complicated now. So I want to go back, though, because I want to cosplay again. Last time I was at MagFest, I cosplayed Pomu Rainpuff, and then she fucking died. Oh, you were 2015? Nice. Awesome. Oh my god. I'm not a good enough musician to, like, be in a band, but the last time I went to MagFest, I did do piano in the hallway. I did do a piano set in the hallway because I have been working on my piano super hard over the last couple years. So, fingers crossed that I'll be able to do another one. I did not do it last year, but maybe someday I'll do another one. I'm trying to get better at piano. I sometimes stream piano on here. You play the piano too? I do, badly. But yeah, I do. I can play a handful of songs pretty well, and then the rest is like major learning. I had a stream a couple nights ago where I did piano, and the first couple songs I played were rough because they're the songs that I'm learning that are hard, and they're either classical or like difficult video game music. But I can play easier video game music without too much trouble, so yeah. We try to do things here. We don't always succeed, but I do a lot of things. I'm a weird talented. When I went to MagFest, 8-8-bit was there, and like 8-8-bit's a good example of somebody who inspired me, because when he was playing, I was like, you know what? I'll pick this instrument up. I'm gonna play piano. A 9-string? That's amazing. I've met some good people at MagFest. You know, it's a really, really good show. It's probably the best show that there is, to be honest. I've been to a lot of cons. I am not going to Off-Kai. I'd like to go someday, but it is the same weekend as an event that I want to go to here in Philly. And if the choice is between like going to California and going to Philly, which I could drive to, it's easier to go to Philly. But it's the same weekend. Like everything is that weekend. But someday maybe I'll go to Off-Kai because I'd like to meet a lot more VTubers. I did go to TwitchCon, not this year, but the previous year. I like the TwitchCon Vegas is the one I went to. I like the Vegas venue better than San Diego. San Diego is like a smaller town. I don't know. The event seems like a lot of fun to go. Yeah, there's a lot of creative people. You learn a lot. You network a lot. You meet fun people. You party with a lot of people. The reason I've met so many people like in the creative world is because I just go to a lot of cons. And I've been fortunate enough to go to a lot of cons, but like COVID killed a lot of those to some degree, and like they're kind of been slow coming back. And MagFest came back pretty fast, but like other cons were slow to come back. The first time going back to DragonCon, you're not shadow banned, you're fine, I can see you. What's going on? How's it going? I'm waiting for ads on Twitch again, and then I'm gonna eat candy. We're gonna do a candy taste test today. This is my last thing I'm gonna do. Welcome, by the way. Well, not the last thing. I'll probably still babble, but I have to go to bed before midnight. I did a sleep study yesterday night, which is crazy. I had to wire a bunch of shit to myself and go to bed. I'm trying to figure out if I got a good grade at sleeping, but I haven't heard back yet from the doctors. Did I sleep good? Did I do a good job sleeping? It was just a thing that I wanted to get a good grade and I want to get an A in sleeping. I don't know. You're here. Welcome. Oh, everybody already feels a little better. I know I feel a little better. I was gonna prepare like slides today because I had another thing that I wanted to talk about, which was D&D. I want to talk about D&D again today, and then I just didn't get around to it, you know? CBT to get rid of your insomnia? Yeah, that makes sense. I'm assuming you mean cognitive behavioral therapy, not the other thing that could possibly stand for. Sorry. Yeah, sleeping is hard. It is. I don't have insomnia. I fell asleep all right. I fall asleep pretty fast. But I was under anesthesia for an operation. And when I woke up, the lady said, you know you snore when you're under anesthesia? And I was like, do I snore when I'm under anesthesia? And she's like, that might be a sign of a sleep deficiency, and you should go get a respiratory person, check that out. So that's why I'm doing it. I'm okay, by the way. You know, but sometimes you got to get an operation. But yeah, so they were like, you should do this follow-up. So yeah, no, I'm fine. I'm absolutely fine. Yeah. This is so she was like, you snored. That's not normal. You should get that checked. And I was like, okay, I guess I'll get it checked. So now I'm doing that. Hopefully it's nothing. Hopefully it's just like, you're fine. You just snore, but picking that background brings out a lot of pain. Oh, I'm sorry. You want me to change it? You want to cover it? I just want to show I love them. They're so sweet. Those girls. I love them. I change the picture out periodically. So yeah, I've just decided that, you know, I'll switch it around. My artist for the background is Kira. I'm very proud to have this piece of art. I think she did just such an excellent job with it, and it's just so me and as my space. Don't change it. Yeah, because it's the girls. I'll change it next time I do a chatting stream, but it'll be changed to something else, because I can change it around. Yeah. Background's super pretty. I know. I love it so much. You can see my plushies and my Transformers. The owl really hurt. I know. Yeah, exactly. You can be sad and happy at the same time. I love Moom. I really like her song that she sang. The last song she sang on the Mume song, the song Mume. That's such a beautiful song. Such a beautiful piece, and it's like so meaningful. It's so bittersweet, that song, right? God, just thinking about it makes me feel a way. You know what's funny is when I made my Baldur's Gate, if you go, half my Baldur's Gate VODs are still on YouTube. I did not finish Baldur's Gate because my computer died and I couldn't get it to run it for a while, so I switched to Elden Ring on my PlayStation, and then I never went back to Baldur's Gate. I will eventually someday go back to Baldur's Gate, but I think I'm going to start over. The first character I made was Fauna, and then I made Mume as her second. So now when I play it, I want to be fucking depressed. Because they're both gone. Not gone forever, but I mean, I need to rest a little. Definitely. Oh, let's eat candy. I'm gonna eat this. Do you guys want me to eat the? I'm taste testing. These are strawberry and grape peanut butter cups. I don't know. I saw them at the Wawa, and I was like, I'm gonna eat candy on stream because I haven't eaten candy in a while. I'm trying to watch my waistline, watch my health. I'm cutting. This one is grape. It's the same as a peanut butter cup, but it has grape in it. Okay, first of all, I was surprised by the grape jelly being on the bottom. For some reason, I thought it would be on the top, even though I just looked at the picture and it's actually on the bottom. It's not very much jelly, though. It's like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich that's way heavy on the peanut butter and way light on the jelly. I should take a picture of it. Meanwhile, there's probably a picture of the inside. Let me just put it up my screen again. Where is the picture? It's gone. It's gone. I deleted it. No, it's right there. It's still Google Docky. It's still, if I bring it up, it's still Google Docky. Yeah. It's gonna be huge when I bring this up. Wait, I'm gonna bring up a totally different picture. Hang on, this is a different picture. Not related. This cheered me up to see today. I got happy again when I saw this. I was like, oh, okay, well, not everything is bad in the world. At least we have Anakin Skywalker Corona. Look at her. Look at her. She's gonna chop off your Ubies and kill all the younglings. Oh my god. Remember when Star Wars was good? It was never good. No, it's true though. That's Anakin's outfit. That's Anakin's outfit, look. And then regular Jedi, it's Obi-Wan, I think you know. But yeah. Jedi, Corona, there's a clip of her. There's a clip of her. They're like, Corona, are you a Jedi? And she goes, no, Sith. So they gave her Anakin's costume. Oh my god. They're so funny. I thought that cheered me up to see that today. Cracked me up. I don't know what the collab is going to be other than that, but I'm thrilled. I'm excited. Yeah. All right, where's the peanut butter cups again? These. They're so cute. These. They have peanut butter and jelly, but I didn't realize the jelly was on the bottom because, like, in this picture they kind of showed on the top, but if you look at the cup, it's like it's on the bottom. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, it's a little too much. I don't know. I think a regular peanut butter cup is like almost perfect as a food, as a candy. It kind of doesn't need anything else. I still ate it though. She killed all of them. Women and children too. You can tell because she took off their fingers. Newbies. In that Star Wars movie, when Anakin's talking to Padme, and he's like, I slaughtered them. The women and children too. And she's like, oh, bummer. You don't think that was a red flag, Padme? that wasn't a red flag for you? She doesn't go, bad relationship. She goes, well, these things happen, Anakin. Yeah, that's how I'm feeling too. I'm feeling like that was almost too much, right? God. I think that was like too much sugar. And now I'm gonna eat the other one. The other one is strawberry. I can't eat the whole pack. Oh, we kill all those people. I like that. Yeah, really. She's like, oh, I mean, could be kind of hot though. I saw a video on YouTube and I watched it because sometimes I'll just like let a random video play. I don't know. And it was like, the romance in the prequels is actually good. And I'm like, okay, I'll hear this guy out. I mean, I don't agree, but I'll hear him out. I think there was some decisions that George Lucas made that were actually purposeful and they weren't on accident, but they come across as weird. Like having Anakin be so young. If you hear his rationale for it, like, well, we decided to make him 8 because it's more traumatizing to lose your mom at that age. And now that I've heard that, I'm like, oh yeah, that's how they did it in Devilmaker, and that makes sense. I get it. But it is weird that he's like, the queen is already like a teenager. The match is weird there. You know what I'm saying? It's like they have too much age gap. And she's like, you were a little kid last time we met. It's hard for me to unsee a little kid. Yeah, and I'm not even like one of those like age gap discourse people, like fucking whatever. But like if you meet somebody and they're a little annoying, snotty 8-year-old, I don't know. I feel like I would not be turned on by that person. But I'm not Padme. But then At the end of the video, they had a clip from, it must have been Disney World, where they have a Padme and they have Darth Vader. And she goes, I knew you were in trouble when you walked in. And I laughed my ass off. I'm like, you know what? That's pretty funny. I'm eating the strawberry one now. I'm eating the strawberry peanut butter cup. I like it better than the grape. It's not as overly sweet. It's a little more sourness to it. Yeah, he said he didn't want to have Anakin be a teen in the movie because he wanted taking away from my mother to be more dramatic, which I kind of understand now. Like, now I kind of get the vision. But making Padme like a 14-year-old queen, I don't know, man. I get that it's like a galaxy far, far away and it doesn't have to make logical sense, but she was like an elected queen. She was a queen, but she was an elected queen. Listen, I want to stop moving in the theater. I want to move it in the theater. There was so much hype. There was so much hype. Like before, like people, if you weren't there because you're too young, some of you I know were there, but if some of you weren't there, there was so much hype. Lines around the block. We were so excited to see a new Star Wars movie. It was insane, the hype. And then that movie was The Phantom Menace. Imagine your disappointment. Imagine your disappointment after all that build. Oh my god, a new Star Wars movie. And then you go and it's The Phantom Menace. And then you leave and you're like, I'll never forget how I felt. Because it was like disappointment, but you didn't want to say it because it was like a sunk cost thing. You know, there's good parts in the movie. There's fun parts. Like pod race is fun. It doesn't have to make sense, but it's fun. It's like a fun action sequence. The lightsaber fight, the yeah, right? Duel of the Fates. Duel of Fates is badass. That part rules. Like, I love the part where they close that like energy field and Darth Maul is like pacing, waiting for the fight to start again. That part is really cool. There's good bits in the movie. Yeah, the songs were epic. The costumes were good. All the fucking looks. But the actual movie was like not, the sum of its parts did not come together for me. I was like, that wasn't good. I'll tell the whole story. I went with my mom. I've talked about my parents on here on the stream before, and my parents are all nerds. My parents are nerds. So I'm with my mom, and we thought that it was going to be really, really, really hard to get tickets because there was so much hype. So we went and we were like, let's get tickets for the evening show. So when Dad gets off work, he can come with us and see the show again. And so he can come and see the show, right? So we're going to go in the morning. We're going to go at like 11 and we're going to get tickets for the evening show because it's going to be really hard to get in. It was what we thought. And this is before they sold movie tickets online, right? Now if a show is sold out, you immediately know because you go onto the website and you just pick your seats and it's like, oh, I picked my seat. There was no seats left, whatever. But back then you had to go to the movie theater and get in line. So we went to the movie theater, got in line, and we realized it was like 11 o'clock. And we thought we're going to get tickets for like the 7 o'clock showing or whatever. Because it was like in every theater, I don't know. And so we realized that there was some seats available for the 11 o'clock. And so we were like, oh, here's what we can do. Let's just get tickets for the current showing. And then we'll also buy tickets for 7 o'clock. So when Dad gets off work, we can just watch it with Dad and we can see it twice. But we're gonna want to see it twice because it's gonna be epic. So we bought the tickets for the 11 o'clock show. And then we bought the tickets for the 7 o'clock show. And then we went to see the 11 o'clock show. And we watched the whole movie. And then we left the movie. And the drive home was awkward. Because we knew we were committed to seeing it again. We didn't want to tell Dad we already saw it. We didn't want to say, actually we saw it at 11 and it was bad. So instead we had to be like, let's go see Star Wars again. But don't tell him it's again because it's a secret that we already saw it. Oh my god. What an event that occurred. It was incredible. So from then on, our expectations were very low for just Star Wars. I think that's a funny story, though. I think that's a funny story about not outsmarting George Lucas. We did not get it. The sit to the mall pacing, that's sweet. I love the pacing. That part is good. JK does the Qui-Gon Rest, Sith Inquisitor does the Maul Seed. That's so awesome. There's some good things in that movie. I don't think I feel about it today the way I felt walking out of that theater the first time. I look back on it and go, there's some parts. But most people were like, well, the third one is okay. The third one is okay, but the third one is like, most of it is just one big long fight that goes on forever, and the fights are the best parts of those movies, so of course that one would be the okay one. Hi Grego, how's it going? It's literally called Seethe. I pushed the Seethe button to Seethe. Is it like in DMC5 when you push the read button to read your stupid book? It's funny, I gotta read my book. I wanna stand back and read my little book. Oh my god, I just snorted. Wow, elegant of me. And peanut butter. The third one is also Palpatine the movie. Yeah, it is. It's definitely more, he's good the whole time. He's a good actor. He sells some of the worst dialogue and he just sells it. He makes it work. I don't necessarily think that the acting worked in a lot of those movies either. I feel like Samuel L. Jackson is so good and he's just so not used right at all in those movies because you have him play a character with no emotions. It's Samuel L. Jackson. What? I mean, I know he's like a badass, but he's more fun when he's like showing emotion and doing stuff like with a character, and like a Jedi doesn't get to do. The whole concept of like having too many Jedi in a movie doesn't really work very good because they're all kind of, they have characters and personalities, but they're supposed to like not have emotions, and so the delivery has to be like, I don't know, really flat, I guess. University summer break started yesterday. I got a whole week up. But the lightsabers are cool, right? Like everybody wants a lightsaber. Those are cool. Summer break. That's so early. Oh, you get a week off. Okay. It's not like summer. It's not like summer off. That caused Lori Ball's face. I'm gonna push the Seethe button. I should learn that skill in real life. I'm gonna just Seethe and get my energy back. The Jedi feels nothing. Ignore the movies and their space words. They're just monks and they'll dress like Obi-Wan, so discussing more. Yeah. I get the argument that like he actually did have a vision and he knew what he was doing. People have said that and like, oh, okay, I get it. But it does feel like some of the stuff in the prequels retcon stuff in the first movies in ways that is not good. Like, I thought Obi-Wan was wearing that because he was just like a desert nomad dude, and that's what desert nomad dudes on a desert nomad planet wore. Then it turns out that that's what all the Jedi wear, I guess. Yeah. Lightsabers are cool. Everybody likes to play with lightsaber. That's why other games use them, call them beam sabers. That's why Zero from Mega Man has one. Like, beam sabers, energy sabers. Optimus Prime has an energy axe. Let's go. I mean, you know, energy weapons are just cool. They're just awesome. Nobody can ever get mad about an energy weapon. Did I see the Triumph Insult Comic Dog episode 1? I didn't. This is definitely not it, because this is... I'm gonna assume Star Wars. I should probably Google Star Wars. Attack of the Clones. I have a Conan one. Triumph the Insult... Did he go to episode 2 or episode 1? Because I see episode 2. Was it episode 2? Official upload from Conan? I don't want to click on... Wait, is this the YouTube upload?
Ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, I found it. I think. Triumph poops on the superfans waiting in line to see the new Star Wars film. That rules. Off the robes. Touching the really default was hard to fight. It was for the fight started taking off the robes. Oh my god, I never even thought about that. I never even thought about that, but you're right. They are hard to fight in, huh? But like monk robes that I get, but like... So there's a way you can do like robes where you fight in them like a karate gi, right? Where you've got a sash around the waist, and that's perfectly like what fucking Ryu wears. This is a perfectly suitable combat outfit. But like the Jedi robes have like a lot more swish to them, right? Where you just cut your own robe with your lightsaber. I guess it looks cool and all, but I don't know about that. Do you guys want to watch Triumph the Insult Comic Dog? If I put this Conan video on, then YouTube will be like, would I react to this? YouTube will be like, you stole this. I don't know. Maybe I'll watch it later. Maybe I'll do a video react stream later. Actually, I'll add this too. I'll save this. I'll do like another react stream at some point. I have another just chatting planned for a couple weeks. I'll just save it. We'll do like a react. People can submit more reacts for me. I didn't want to bring up these videos because this overlay isn't set up for it. Even Dooku's cape thing is silly. You know, I never thought of that, but you're right. They totally get in the way. Jeez. Well, Grego, I hope the job search goes well for you. I hope you find a good job. I know things are... I don't know how the job market is, actually. I have no clue how the job market is right now. I imagine it's tricky. I imagine that there's a lot of competition right now. Where you're trying to... The only kind of job I know how to find is coding, so... if you have questions about coding. Otherwise, if you're not trying to find a coding job, then I don't know how to do it. But yeah. I've only written a little tiny bit of code. Not really, because I use a template. I wrote a little... I fucked around in AWS this week. Because I have a website now. It's countesslita.com. Easy. Now you know how to get to places involving me. AWS is fun. AWS is not very hard, which is nice. Well, it depends on what you're trying to do with it, I guess. But it's not too bad. Setting up servers, tearing them down. I'm just using static buckets for everything. It's a good old bucket, as we say. This is throw up a static bucket. It doesn't have to do anything fancy. It just hosts your redirects. And then you push a redirect to your URL, and then you're done. Bada bing, bada boom. I'm not certified in AWS. It's one of those things that I need to get done at some point. We'll call that a long-term life goal. Learn to play the Bach pieces I'm working on and get certified in AWS. And that's enough. Yeah, there is that. Like, I was looking at one point, we do Power World sometimes. And I was like, what would it take for me to spin up a dedicated Power World server on AWS and leave it running? And then I looked at how much that would be, like price tag wise, and I was like, no, I'm not gonna do that. We're just gonna spin up Power World on my computer when we want to play it, and because you can do like a local. But if you can't host it on AWS, but like, am I gonna leave that up? No. I've spun up Minecraft before and left it up for a little while. But it always ends up being pretty pricey to run like a full, yeah. Bach is hard. Bach is my nemesis right now. This is what I'm trying to learn. I played very, very badly. I fucked up the end so bad. I'm gonna get there though. I'm gonna be able to play it like in another month. You'll all see. I'm playing Bach, yeah, on piano. And also a piece from Soul Blazer, the video game. They're rather similar. They're in the same key. Well, Soul Blazer changes keys, Bach doesn't. But Bach is all over the place with the sharps, so technically it has some different keys in it. They're similar in terms of like structure rule, which is why I'm doing both of these at the same time, because I'm trying to like learn how to do counter melodies and stuff. My teacher's like, this song is not as hard as the Bach. And I'm like, no, it's not as hard as the Bach, but it's still kind of hard. So, you know. It's another thing where if there's any songs you guys think you want me to learn, like a video game song, and it's within my skills of like learning or maybe arranging it my own way, then I'll try it. I'll give it a shot. I'll try. Right now I've got a Disney book, regular like pop songs type book. I make a lot of mistakes, but I'm having fun. You gotta learn your own pace. I don't do art streams anymore because those are not, I really fumble around with art. Maybe someday I'll get back on a drawing arc, but it's been fun venting with you guys today. Also, my opinion, if you get the PB&J cups, the strawberry is better than the grape. I kind of thought it would be, but they're both like really sweet, so I'm not going to eat the second one of either of these. I'm going to throw them in the fridge. They're all right. I think the regular peanut butter cup is kind of perfect the way it is, though. But I was curious, and I was at the Wawa and thought, I'll try these just to see. Why not? Something different. Something so I'm hanging out on stream. I'm gonna find a raid out. I don't have a raid out on YouTube yet, but on Twitch I can raid out. For those of you that have been hanging out with me on Twitch, thank you so much for being here. Okay, I've tried to raid Cat Spur before, but he sometimes is quitting right when I'm quitting. I'm curious how much longer he's gonna be. Knock thing is open. That's crazy. You're still in coding jobs? What code are you learning? What code are you learning? What code you do? What kind of codes do you do? What's your language of choice, in other words? Oh, we could rate. Oh my god. This is a game that... This is actually version 1. Okay, I only speedrun 2. Also, I don't know what game this is that Catsper's playing. I keep getting ads. It looks kind of janky. Yeah, let me know what language you're doing. Not that I want to like dox my whole job or anything, but I don't have any positions open off the top of my head, but I'm always willing to like chat about it, you know? Like I don't know of any, like I'm not gonna be like, oh, I have a role. Like I don't know of any right now, but it's, if you're like looking for help with interviews or whatever, let me know. I'm not good at like the whiteboarding style code interview. I must pass those by the skin of my teeth if I do, but. All right. Do we want to raid into horror or speedrunning? What do you guys think? On Twitch anyway. I don't have a YouTube raid out. Someday I'll learn how to do that on YouTube. No preference. Horror? Okay. Well, thanks. Oh, you're doing Java and Python. Oh, yeah. Python is fun. I like Python. Python has become, like, a language I really enjoy to actually use, which I don't think it's not too difficult, I guess, compared to Java. What do you think is easier, Java or Python? I think Python's easier. Yeah, I think Python's easier. All right. For those of you that are watching on YouTube, yeah, I think it's easier too. I appreciate you. And I'm glad you're here with me today. Stop by anytime. We're going to be back on YouTube again on Thursday. I now have the combined chat, so that's going to make my life a lot easier for doing dual streams. I'm really happy about that. Yeah, you like Python as well? Yeah, I like Python. It's a good language. Just got to watch your indents and you're good to go, pretty much. Plus the frameworks are fun to use. Next time you're doing OpenGL, man, that's cool. Good luck. That'd be awesome. You never know, like, what coding language will be the next big thing. You never know. Could be anything. Something big could pop up with a new, like if it's JavaScript and you're like, oh, I'm learning a new framework of JavaScript. Next week, there's going to be a different framework of JavaScript. So like, just be prepared. AWS is a good skill to have though. Like if you learn AWS, you're going to be very useful to be able to like upload and download stuff and run your own servers and all that. So yeah, like I did not actually code the website that I have made. I pretty much just got a template and like edited it because I didn't feel like writing all that code from scratch and I didn't think I needed to. But it's nice to be able to at least like host your own shit. TypeScript, yes, exactly. TypeScript, TypeScript 2, no, you know, there's a lot of different types. TypeScript is JavaScript with strong typing, right? I'm very rusty on my JavaScript. I have done C++. C++ is different because it's got to be compiled and you gotta, you know, do all that to it to compile it and make sure it runs and everything. But C++ is very powerful, which is nice. All right, I'm getting distracted watching the stream that I'm gonna raid into, so he better not quit before I raid, but yeah, strongly type. Thank you, Ariat. Guys, I love you. Let's talk again on Thursday when we are gonna play Look Outside. If you like gore, and if you like creepy shit, tune in for Look Outside. If you don't like gore and you don't like creepy shit, you might want to skip that, but you can always tune in for Cyberpunk on Saturday. That is not my schedule up, but my schedule goes up every Friday. So without delay. So it will go up on Friday, it'll get posted on YouTube, on Discord, and on Blue Sky and Twitter. I posted all those places. So you'll see it. Love you guys, and we'll see you next time.